What's up, level uppers? Welcome to the Level Up Show, episode 295. This is a gaming dedicated talk show on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm one of your co-hosts, Andrew. I make the show Midori, and I'm joined tonight by the tech guru himself, Agent Vincent 4756.
Hello, everyone.
Been using that Level Up Show t-shirt a lot lately, I see.
I have, I figured we just, make sure it's here,
Yes, I appreciate it. Looks good on you, man. Looks very good on you. How you doing today? How's your day going?
I'm doing good, man. It's been an easy, chill day today.
Yeah? Good weekend? Yeah. Get any streams in?
Yeah, I actually got, I got two streams back-to-back, the Friday and Saturday, long streams, and we played a lot. Subnautica Below Zero.
So good. Is this your first time playing Subnautica, or what's your experience?
I played Subnautica right before it became finished on PC, I think. But the thing was, I played it then, and I was just kind of I'm just gonna play, and I really didn't care what was going on. Now playing it again, it was I have no idea what's going on. Yesterday we actually got to the point to where we went and played Below Zero. And there was enough quality of life improvements that trying to go back to the first game, I was like, why are these not patched in yet? Mm-hmm, so we decided to actually mod the game, and we actually kind of went crazy with modding Subnautica. So it's some really cool stuff we were doing with it. Yeah.
Very nice. I played Subnautica. It feels like, God, it feels like 2 years ago at this point. It was a game that was gifted to me by Dirty Habanero, Jameis. And nice. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. That game really resulted in some great streams where you would play nothing but aquatic themed music. We put on song requests. Everybody request, aquatic themed music. And it would just be the chillest, most relaxing streams. Other than, of course, when you get into those moments where there's the fucking, I don't even know what it is, Kraken or something in the water.
Leviathan, yeah.
Yeah, whenever that happened, of course, but...
I have a really bad fear with underwater stuff, which is kind of funny. So that game was even Patricia, she's been watching it. She's it's kind of funny. At first that you were I'm not leaving the shallows. I'm never leaving here. This is my place. I will stay here. Screw the planet. I don't care.
Yep.
And now I'm finally starting to get over my fear to where I'm running away from Reapers and everything like that. But oh my God, I hate it so much.
It felt like such a huge game too.
It does. It does feel huge.
How many hours have you put in, you think?
Right now, for my game saved, I have total, I think it was 15 hours. I think 15, I have.
15, okay. Yeah, I probably put in at least double that, and I feel like I didn't make a dent into that game.
Yeah. Did you ever finish it?
No.
Finish it?
Nope.
Yeah. I just got down to I think it's called the Lost River, where it's all spooky, ghosty, and I was I can't do this. I need to leave.
Nope.
I need to go.
Noped out of there.
Yeah.
Welcome to all those in the chat already. We got a follow coming in from Nutbuster. Thanks for that follow. We also had a resub coming in from Diclonia's Games, adding a minute onto the stream timer. I am going to do a stream timer tonight because I've got to try and get 7 Remake wrapped up before The Last of Us comes out. I don't think it's going to happen, but if we get a full 4.5 hours or 5 hours tonight, and the talk show only turns out to be 3 hours, that'll give me a little bit of time to, make my way through chapter 16 of 7R. So we're getting there, but we still have the virtual reality battles, which I'm sure are going to take a lot of time because those are going to be the most difficult battles of the entire game. I'm probably going to die a lot. So it could be anywhere from a couple hours to 10 hours, trying to beat these things. I have no idea how difficult it is. Have you gotten the platinum on that game yet?
No, I don't do platinum hunts.
No.
I really games, even as much as I love them, I don't even have the platinum for Death Stranding. Trophies aren't really my thing. I played the game, and if there's that whole thing to where I'll keep playing it, I don't really go for that type of stuff. It's just not me.
It's a 1 in every 50 games for me that I feel compelled to go for the platinum. It's usually because I'll take a look at the trophy list and I'll realize, oh wow, just organically I came really close to already achieving this platinum. So I'll put in the extra whatever to get it done. One that I did it for was Eco, and I'm very proud of that one because you had to do a speed run of that game in order to get it. And the Final Fantasy games last year, 7 and 8 specifically, I platinumed those. That was fun. Right. I had never done everything in those games before, where I could say I 100%ed these Final Fantasy games. So it felt like that was the time for me to finally do it,
Gotcha.
And now with 7 Remake, I don't know what's compelling me to do it. I don't think it really is just so I can be I'm a huge Final Fantasy VII fan, I need to have the platinum. I feel like I actually do feel driven by this one to get the trophies for some reason. I don't know if it's the way the New Game Plus was structured, which I do appreciate. I think it's really neat the way they put it all together with being able to jump chapter to chapter, and you can even, for the most part, save in the middle of a chapter and jump to another one, and you'll retain what you've done.
That's nice.
It's very rare that you have to like finish a chapter in order to get what was accomplished there. Holy crap! What is happening here?
Gifted subs.
Oh my god! I was just talking about you, Jameis. We were talking about Subnautica and how that was a gifted game by you, which I really loved. Pat, how you doing today? So we just had 5 gifted subs adding on to Stream Timer. So welcome to the Plus One Posse. We have official DJ Zage. Oh, we just got a hype train going now too. We got Pat, Shadow Next Gen, Space CDT, and JT Killer, and of course Dirty Habanero getting close to that 3-year anniversary at 34 months, saying popping in before dinner. And also dropping a ton of subs at the same time. You're a maniac, Jameis. Thank you. We'll have our wheel spin segments, of course, throughout the show.
I didn't think so.
We're dyeing hair tonight. We're doing a lot of stuff tonight.
Nice.
Who redeemed that? Who just did that? That was Forest Ender. He wants the red hair.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on tonight. So yes, of course, prize wheel segments will happen later on. We have 2 or 3 of them tonight, and we'll catch up on all the support happening. Prize wheel is active and Stream Timer is active, so that just added on a ton of minutes right there. Keep them coming, guys. Maximum extension is possible tonight, an hour of extension, so that we have more time with 7 Remake after the talk show is done. But we have a big talk show tonight, too. I mean, we've got all of the PS5 news, of course, which we've got to get through. Last of Us 2, the review embargo lifted on Friday. We've got some Xbox stuff coming out as well. A lot of next-gen news. And it's kind of, we're getting into that area now, that time of year, especially on the cusp of the next generation. I feel like the floodgates are gradually starting to open, and it's going to be, I feel like, sort of nonstop for the rest of the year in a way.
Yep.
Especially with this summer of E3,
Yeah, we don't have that big event to have everything kind of drop, and then then it would just trail on. Then it would be like Gamescom. Like, it feels like this time everyone's just going to be dropping it throughout the weeks now, which is actually kind of nicer, I think.
It is. I did appreciate that Sony, in a weird way, was the only one to activate during E3 week this year. The one that canceled this year, backed out last year. Everybody's like, oh, E3's dead because Sony's backing out. And then what happens? They're the only one that actually activates, if you want to say, during that time. And Xbox, which was the one that was supposed to take advantage of E3 this year, we'll talk about later, not only backed out of June, but also might be pushing some other dates around as well.
Yeah,
so
interesting stuff.
Partially in response, I'm sure, to Sony.
Absolutely.
And what they're doing. They're just playing a real weird game of cat and mouse right now. Weird game of chicken as well. And it's exciting, but it's also frustrating at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of,
put this on thick, didn't I?
It is fun for sure, but yeah, at this point, it's almost like where we want all the info now. Like, this is where we usually get all the info. This is when pre-orders would start. This is when we would know everything, and we just now got like those like January, February, March reveals now. So like we're like way behind on like the whole thing. It's crazy, and like Microsoft has really extended out its whole press cycle for good reason too. I mean, they've been staying in the conversation the entire time. So it's been interesting. It's
funny, though, how I kind of referenced this or talked about it in previous episodes, how people were getting down on Sony, right?
Right.
For their lack of information. And I was like, guys, none of this is going to matter in the long run. All of this is going to go away. I feel like I got like red on my forehead right now. And people are going to forget about these months because they really don't matter in the grand scheme. Once the games start being shown, once the price is revealed, that's when it all matters. And it's funny how people are now looking at Xbox in the news, which we'll talk about later, and the tables have turned. Where it's like, God, Xbox like is taking their time with releasing information. It's like, wow, like this is a real heel turn here, guys. Like we were just talking about Sony being the one, and it all took was a week of Sony showing things and Xbox not showing things, and now everybody's like, what's Xbox doing? Come on, when are you going to respond to this? It's just gamers are so fickle.
They are.
I've said a million times. They're just so fickle. And that's why I knew, like, none of this is going to matter.
No.
It's all going to go away when we see Spider-Man Miles Morales, you know?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Anything else that you played this week before we jump into the crux of the show here today?
We did a little bit of Minecraft Dungeons.
Oh,
That
how
was
is that?
fun.
Yeah.
It's a solid game. I'm still surprised it reviewed so low as it did. But it's fine. It's solid. I don't think it's the bestest game, but like if you're trying to introduce like your kids or something that's like the action RPG genre, Minecraft Dungeons fits the bill, and it's actually kind of deep enough to where like there's some longevity there. Like the levels take a while to get through. Like some of the levels take like an hour to get through. So
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it's been fun. And I think that's kind of been. I've been playing a little bit of Destiny 2 back on stream, getting ready for the new season, which is kind of funny after I dropped it last year again. But that's about it. Like, just kind of bouncing between games a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know me, I just been doing 7R because I've been trying so desperately to get it done before these big games are releasing, like The Last of Us Part 2. And I honestly don't think it's going to happen. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it done this week on Wednesday because that's my last day. Friday, yeah. I should be doing a stream on Friday. I talked with Kristen about it last week, and she kind of said it was my Father's Day gift.
Nice.
So
I don't think I'm streaming it, to be honest. I think I'm just gonna play it on my own terms.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked about a little bit in my chat, and everyone was just kind of like, yeah, like I had to replay number 1 to get everyone up to speed, and it was just like, I'm not sure if I have enough time this week to even do that. So just like, I think I just might just play that on my own terms. And then Ghost of Tsushima is going to be the big game that I'm going to be like streams all day, every day as best I can because I'm so excited for that game.
Yeah. I think the thing that people are really going to want to see from me with 7R is those big boss battles, those really tough ones. Yeah. So it's okay if I have a little bit extra after that to get done. I'll do that off stream. I just want to have some fun, Soulsborne-esque moments in a way where it's me struggling against a boss, Final Fantasy game, which isn't usual for me, honestly. Right. So I'm excited for that, and I think I should be able to get to that on Wednesday if I get a little bit of time with the game tonight. I want to give another welcome here. We got Brittany in the room, Far Center, Thunderous Quiet. Thanks for that hype train that just wrapped up there, activated by King Kurt and Dirty Habanero with all the gifted subs and a lot of other things too. Trish coming in with 200 biddies. You guys are all amazing. We're working our way towards our daily goals and those high points wheel spins. We got LOL Brohaha in the room. Asha Rakal is here. And many others. We got almost 20 people in the room. Guys, share that show on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Discord, communities that allow it, wherever you can. Just type in !share in the chat or ! retweet in the chat because we got an exciting show tonight to go through the future of gaming. As Sony would call it. Yeah. And without further ado, let's get into it, guys. The PlayStation 5 future of gaming. We did our live reaction. If you guys missed it, of course, check that out. We've got it all up on YouTube and, of course, archived on Twitch. I will say it's been doing really well for us on YouTube. All the videos. We've gained like 300 plus subs in the past day on YouTube. Tens of thousands of views. Doing very well. A lot of positive response to our positivity.
Good.
Because I'm seeing a lot of that it's refreshing to watch reactors that are passionate and positive about what they're watching as opposed to jaded and just looking for something to complain about. And I feel like that usually is the way to go with these reactions, even if you are feeling a little bit sore about something, to just focus on the positive, because I think people do really appreciate that in the YouTube reaction videos. I'm not saying to be fake, but I'm saying not to harp on those things that we're missing. So for instance, I brought up Final Fantasy not being there, but I wasn't going to harp on it because really there's no reason that I should have expected it necessarily to be there. There was nothing wrong with it not being there because what was there was absolutely
amazing.
Fantastic. It was an absolutely fantastic show. Hour and 15 minutes long, approximately, I believe. And I will say, I thought it was a little bit awkward after the fact to look at the beginning and realize that they put Grand Theft Auto 5 coming to PS5, but with PS4 footage at the very front of it. I get why they did it, because they wanted to get it out in front, and it was almost like a precursor to the actual event. You know what I mean?
It was like one of those pre-show moments. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they would have done.
Yeah.
The thing that here's one thing that I talked about one of my coworkers with too. What's weird about that announcement too is like people really kind of like aren't getting like the importance behind that, and it's weird how they did it, and I think they could have done a better job of showing it off. But like PlayStation 5 is getting GTA Online for free. They're actually going to separate the clients, it looks like now, which is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
You're no longer buying the full game now to do the single player and online, so you just play the online. So I actually kind of took that away as a kind of like, wait a minute, hold up. They're going to have every PS5 is going to have online. GTA Online, one of the biggest games ever.
No, it's a big deal, and
it is.
As Jim Ryan harped on afterwards, like their partnership with Rockstar continues. You know, Grand Theft Auto has been on every PlayStation generation, so it's a big deal to have that at the front. But I've watched several reaction videos, and it's hilarious to watch that Rockstar logo pop up, and every single person's like, "Oh my god!" And then it's like, "Oh wait, okay," because we did the same thing. We were all like, "Oh my god, are we gonna get like GTA 6 right now? Are we gonna get a new IP? Is Agent gonna come back?" Like, we were all like wondering what the hell could this possibly be. Even though we haven't talked about them all yet, I'm going to put a poll in the chat right now to ask you guys what your favorite PS5 reveal was. Of course, we couldn't include them all in this poll, as you're about to see, but we got a fair amount in there. Let's start with what actually started the show. The official show was Spider-Man Miles Morales. And there's been a lot of conversation about this game since, because like, what is it? Like, what is Spider-Man Miles Morales? Is it an expansion? Is it DLC? And now we know it is a standalone title.
Right.
Truly PS5 exclusive, and something reminiscent in scope to The Lost Legacy.
Right.
I'd say more than First Light, maybe less than Lost Legacy is what I'm expecting personally.
Like right in the middle.
Yeah, kind of like 6 hours, something like that. But really, what matters here is they got this thing ready for holiday 2020. This is a launch title for PS5. That's insane.
Huge deal.
That's huge. One of the best-selling, fastest-selling PlayStation franchises of all time, now on PS4, Spider-Man. 2018 beat God of War, even. And now it's going to have a launch title for PS5. Like, that's so amazing. The game looks absolutely stunning and gorgeous, especially when you watch it in native 4K. Because the conference, let's say, was 1080p 30. They couldn't do beyond that, supposedly because of work from home limitations. Some people really got on them about that, but they uploaded these videos almost immediately after the show.
Yeah, they were ready to go.
Yeah. So looking at Spider-Man afterwards in high quality direct feed, oh my goodness, did it look fantastic.
Actually, honestly, all the games in direct feed look just astounding, to be honest.
How do you feel about them going all Miles Morales with Spider-Man?
I like it. I think it's fun. And what's really cool is like they're doing this now. So in a way, it makes me even more excited for a full out sequel, because now they're going to actually have established both Spider-Man and Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Separate. I mean, they're going to be ready to go. Like there's going to be the second game's not going to deal with that entire, like, we have to like introduce the player to Miles, you know? It's going to be ready to go.
They're going to bridge into Spider-Man 2's story at the end of Miles Morales. They've got to. This is a setup for the true sequel to Spider-Man, and also them having an opportunity to mess with the PS5 hardware and see what they can accomplish with the SSD in this open world. Because they already said, like, mechanically, this is going to play very similarly to Spider-Man PS4. They're not really trying to expand too much on what they did there. Hopefully that doesn't result in too much criticism, because this, as we now understand, is kind of like an expansion, but standalone. You know, at least you don't have to have Spider-Man PS4 to do it, but it's not like a full-fledged sequel. You know, it's something that they felt probably they could get together for launch if they did limit it to this scope, didn't expand the mechanics in a major way. This allowed them to get it done and allowed them to familiarize themselves with the PS5 hardware. So when Spider-Man 2 comes in 2-3 years, oh God, is it going to be something crazy? I'm imagining, you know?
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah. But man, kudos to Insomniac for even being able to turn around if it's 6 hours. I don't care. Turning that around, getting it ready for launch. Those guys are fast, because they didn't just have one game at the PlayStation 5 reveal. I'm going to skip forward one and jump to Ratchet and Clank here, because that was the third game shown. Also, of course, from Insomniac. And I feel like it was actually the game that best showed off what the SSD is doing for PS5.
Ratchet and Clank definitely was the pillar cornerstone game at the reveal, I want to say. It was the one that showed off all the promises of what they had been talking about, for sure.
It almost felt like a tech demo in a way for the SSD. Like this game was built just to show off what you can do.
Yeah, and I mean, it's crazy. I analyzed it with on my stream like 2 nights ago, really, really late, because we were just looking at it. But it's crazy. Like, have you gone back and watched that in like frame by frame references?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a stutter at points,
but it's crazy.
It's really minimal.
Do you look at what happens during the stutter? It literally, like the one scene, especially with like him going down on like the glass. Like there's, you see some cars, you see some planes, and like some of the street, right? That moment that frame hits, it's literally twice the amount of cars, all the birds and everything. It's crazy. It's like you literally have this entire influx of data just like dropped right onto the scene. It's crazy.
Now, do you think they will be able to polish that even further?
Yeah, because I mean, right now, think about it. They probably have worked from home or very, very, their project has not been really worked on that because it's not a holiday release, I don't think. And they're probably still messing with timing. I mean, that's going to be the craziest thing now is they don't have to worry about data duplication in this, or we need to make this portal sequence last 10 seconds long or 14 seconds long because we need to do this. They can just sit there and do it, and they just got to play with it. Like, that's the thing. You add 2 or 4 more, seconds to the portal thing, you have the entire scene loaded in the background still.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not even sure they need to add that much. They probably could just add a second, and they probably can make it work. Now, does the animation feel like it's cumbersome when it expands by a minute? I don't know, but yeah, they can mess with all this, and I think it did say alpha footage, if I remember right, with Ratchet and Clank. So we have no idea when this game's coming. It's not a launch title. Spider-Man is their launch title. So yeah, they might have a year plus still to be working on this and polish it up. And I bet that they do find a way to get those transitions even more seamless. And
that's actually a really good point to talk to right now. We're kind of going into that whole brand new thing here to where, since we have that raw speed now, developers don't know how to actually really do that. Like, think about any game that you teleport, right? You have a slowdown effect. You have a cursor that's going to show you to that. Then you do like this really kind of like quick rush to it, right? But you still have this whole transition. You don't really the game, and that transition there is to help mask like assets or whatnot being loaded. That's not going to be really a thing here now. And so you're kind of programming transitions in there so users can actually play the game without losing the information, but you might not need it. So it's going to be jarring for a little bit until we get some, because I've seen some people talk about like how like, oh, it's weird how they had to do portals. And it was like, I don't think they could have just done instant jumps. I think that would have freaked people too much out.
I love the way they did it with the sort of like hook shot almost of pulling yourself into the fracture. It looks awesome. And honestly, those transitions I thought were even more impressive than the ones they showed off during the story trailer. Yeah, I thought those transitions were even more impressive. And then when you add in what looks to be ray tracing and all the destruction.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was maybe up until the end with Horizon, it was maybe the most stunning thing in the conference. And you guys voted, and we'll talk about Horizon in a moment. You guys voted that as your favorite PS5 reveal. I'm not sure I'm ready to say yet what mine is. I think we need to talk about all this a little more. Let's jump back a little bit to the game number 2, Gran Turismo 7. It was a very, very attractive. I do think that, like, looking at the other games that were shown, it is actually surprising that I feel like it was not the most impressive looking game, because car games usually are really easy showpieces because it's all metals finishes. It's not as difficult to emulate that realistically as it would be, human skin or something like that. So that's why car games typically do look amazing in some of the best showpieces. But looking back on it now, I don't think it was that for the PS5 reveal.
There wasn't. There were some really cool small details you can notice though, like the ray trace reflections in the HUD displays and everything like that. There is some weird asset loading that still needs to happen. Like shadows still have to do
I noticed that. Yeah, trees as well, I think, loading in a little bit.
So the thing that I'm wondering is if Gran Turismo is kind of unshackling itself from some cross-generational roots, and I
think that's what's happening, yeah.
And they're probably still refining. Because the other thing, too, is we also really don't know where the full out performance metric of that game is going to be. I mean, if that game's 4K 120, I don't think anyone's going to complain.
No.
Especially
although I think some people would complain that it's not necessary to do 120. But that's me personally. I feel like anything above 60 is really wasting resources. But
right. But I'm saying, like,
each their own.
Well, I think what's going to happen is that might be more against Forza, unfortunately, and that might be where they're being conservative where they're at. Because I mean, that's where it is. Gran Turismo has to like kind of combat Forza right now, in a
Yeah.
way. So I think that just might be why they're being very conservative on what they're showing on that. And then once they have some clear indication of what they want to do, that's what they're going to do. But I
Mhm.
agree with you. It did feel a little lopsided. Like when you see some of like the models, it's like holy wow. But then like you
Mhm.
see like the actual like world, you're like, eh. But like
I feel like that's always the case with Gran
yeah,
Turismo. The car models are straight up car porn, and then
yeah,
the environments look great. Don't get me wrong,
yeah.
but they haven't quite gotten them to the level of the
Of
cars.
Drive
And I
Club.
feel like that's what I'm waiting for, and I'm hoping PS5 will allow them to accomplish. They've done a lot with GT Sport,
Yeah,
and they've really improved that game. And I'm with you. I think this was either straight up a PS4 game or planned as a cross-generational game that they have now made PS5 exclusive.
yeah.
Because it feels like they're still the roots of the past generation in this. I'm
Yeah.
with you. Which is
Okay.
unfortunate, but okay.
Yeah.
It's understandable. And at least they're not doing what they did with GT6, which was a major mistake to keep that back on the previous generation when PS4 was coming out. That almost killed that game. Like it did not sell near as well, probably not half as well as it would have if they would have made that either cross-generational or just PS4 as a
Yeah.
showpiece launch title for that. Would have really benefited them. So they learned from that lesson, it seems.
They did.
And I'm sure when Gran Turismo comes out, doesn't have a date on it. I'm sure when it comes out, it'll look even better than we already saw, and they'll continue to improve that as time goes on. Moon after that, I think game number 4 was Project Athia, if I remember right.
I like this. I like this
Yes.
game. I want more of it. I am also really surprised on some of the messaging that's going around with the game and also how much it's like prominent on Sony's Twitter and YouTube. It's very strange.
It is console exclusive, probably
Yes.
timed, I would assume. It said designed exclusively for PS5 at the end. So what does that mean? I don't know exactly. Like, are they taking advantage of the SSD in a major way? But if so, then how are they then porting this over to the other consoles if it's designed exclusively for PS5?
Well, that's my thing because it also is coming out on PC. So
Yes.
it's strange. That was the only one thing that I thought was like that marketing message was kind of a little weird. Like you probably shouldn't have said that in a way. You should have just said, whatever. I like it though.
Visually, the atmosphere, the artistic direction, all of that reminded me a lot of Agni's philosophy.
Yeah.
And this is, I have to assume it is what Tabata and his team were working on before Tabata left. It is Luminous Productions. It is that team that was created to create a new IP for Square Enix. I'm sure it's going to be more of an action game than an RPG. That's my expectation.
I just want that that
traversal
traversal. I was just like, I need it. I need it.
A lot, from what I understand, looking on Resetera, a lot of people were confused and thought that was Final Fantasy 16. And that is why there was some mixed messaging in there on what was going to show up from Square Enix. Because there were a few insiders, some relatively trusted insiders, that said Final Fantasy 16 will be there. And I know one in particular is still doubling down, saying like, no, I wasn't confused. They must have pulled it away. But then Jason Schreier and a few others who were saying it was never supposed to be there.
But hold
so
up.
I don't know who to believe necessarily, but
the thing that kills me with the whole Jason thing was like he even said that. Like it was supposed to be there. So then he all of a sudden flipped and said it wasn't supposed to be there. So I'm like, wait.
I guess he talked with somebody afterwards.
Oh, okay.
And found out. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Because he thought it was going to be there. He did think it was going to be there. And he was wrong, obviously. So he probably checked with one of his sources, an insider, and tried to verify like what happened there. I know that Imran from Kind of Funny said that everything he heard about Final Fantasy 16 was present in that Project Athia trailer. So he's like, there must be some confusion there where people thought Project Athia was Final Fantasy 16. That being said, Final Fantasy 16 is coming. Right. All the insiders, all the rumors, everything are pointing towards like this game has been in development, it's in production. Maybe it even is being set for the August PlayStation event. God. That's rumored heavily. So we'll get it. It might not be this year, the reveal, but we'll get it in the near future. All that being said, like let's not take away from Project Athia or Athia, however you say it, because
ready for it.
Looked awesome. It's obviously a teaser. It doesn't even have an official title yet. It's a project title, but still, what they're showing, the direction they're heading in looks really promising. So I'm excited to see more from that team and what Luminix Productions is capable of. Returnal. We got the official confirmation that Housemarque is back, baby. I don't believe they're first party. Everything I've seen after the show did not say anything about them becoming PlayStation first party, but they are doing an exclusive for PlayStation again.
Yeah, from what I understand, they did some digging after the show. This came back from March 2019 to where Sony had gone into the studio, said, hey, we want to do an exclusive. And I guess there's more talks happening because of that. So Returnal is kind of more...
Testing ground?
I want to say testing ground, but more of the... What's the other word? The audition. It's more that is kind of where it's at right now. It's
kind of like they do with a lot of teams, you know. Even Quantic Dream, I feel like they were going through the audition phase and they failed because not because of the game, but for other reasons.
All their policies came to light at the very last second.
Yep, and it all fell through. Probably, I really would not be surprised if
that deal
after Detroit Become Human, if none of that came out, they would have acquired.
Yeah,
Quantic Dream. I really think so.
I liked Returnal though. I really liked the presentation behind it. I really enjoyed the 3D audio. That was one of the very few games I actually could hear the 3D audio from on my setup. Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like the loop of it. I like how mysterious. I thought it was an alien game at first. I was like, holy shit, are you kidding me?
It looks like cosmic horror to me.
Well, I thought
the vibe I got.
The first shot with the ship and then the planet, I was like, oh my god, Sony did a Predator game, now they're doing an alien game. I'm just being gifted.
Well, yeah, I mean, the one thing looked like a straight up face hugger at one point. Well, but yeah, it definitely has some really cool cosmic horror vibes. I think the artistic direction and all that looks fantastic. I'm a little worried that it's going to be sort of a generic third person shooter in the end. But you could see the essence of Housemarque in it. You could see that. Yeah. You know, it looks like a Dead Nation or a Resogun or this or that in a third-person shooter. Like the way the bullets fire off, the way she's strafing and moving, it has that sort of arcadey feel to it that is straight up Housemarque. So that I think is really cool, and I'm happy about that. I hope they're able to innovate with the mechanics a little bit so that it isn't just a run and gun.
In the description, they said death is reloaded in a blink of an eye. So I think it's one of those games to where you never stop. Even if you die, you just keep going. So it'll be another showcase for the Well, I think it's going to be a showcase for the SSD. It's going to be one of those.
Without doubt.
There's no loading here. We just keep going. And the whole fact of the planet completely changes every time you die. I think that's kind of cool.
Oh, really? I didn't see that. That's confirmed.
That was a detail that came out. So every time you die, the planet and whatever you're going through completely changes. So like you can go from the swamp to the desert to the ice. It'll constantly keep throwing not new things, but a loop of things at you, but it just keeps reloading it like that.
Mm-hmm. I pulled up a website here. I want to make sure I don't miss anything to talk about. I'm sure a few things we'll skip over, but there's also a few things I don't want to miss. Let's go to Stray. Because I feel like this this game, I've seen a lot of people come out on Twitter saying, this is what sold me on PS5. This is what sold my girlfriend on PS5. This and this. I'm not surprised, really. Let me give a quick shout out. Raid shout out from the 9 Fox. Derek coming in with 9 viewers. Thank you so much, Derek, and everybody who's in the chat. If you haven't given Derek a follow yet, what the hell's wrong with you? Give Derek that follow, please. Do that. But yes, I think more than anything, what sold this game for a lot of people is the atmosphere. The atmosphere of this game is just, it speaks volumes. There's just so much there to take in, and it's beautiful, man. Like I'm guessing this is an indie team, but holy shit, does this game look nice? It's
indie team and it's Unreal Engine. I don't know if it's 5, but again, one of the things that was really like we can talk about later too, but like all the indie games looked fantastic at this conference. Like all the presentational quality, everything like that was just like, are these like AA or AAA games? Like,
what's going on here? Is the PlayStation funding behind this? And some of them, yes. It's. I did find out afterwards, watching all the trailers back on PlayStation, I was surprised how many of them ended with console exclusive. And I was like, whoa. And a few of them we're going to get to, which were really surprising. I was like, wait a second. Like, damn, I did not expect these to be console exclusive. I don't know if it's 1 month or a year. And they've even said that some will be 1 month, some will be a year. So we don't know. But I was like, holy crap. They really went for it with some of these games. I was surprised. But yeah, I'm 100% keeping an eye on Stray.
Yeah,
that game looks like something very special, potentially. Oddworld Soulstorm. This game took me by surprise too, because wow, what a dark turn. Like, this game turned into something really grotesque and disturbing by the end of that trailer.
Yeah.
I've never played an Oddworld game, so I don't know if that's the typical vibe of those games.
It is the typical vibe, but that was serious. Whereas, like, the other games have kind of had, like, more, like, slap, like, as Nine Fox says, it grew up, and that's what Mike even said on the reaction stream. It's weird, because, like, it had a very slapsticky humor, but it was dark humor. But it was still kind of just jokey and, I want to say kiddie in a way, but it was kind of like that. That was like a whole level of like serious epicness of like, oh my gosh, we have prophecies and people dying. It was,
you know, what it reminded me of from like a disturbing standpoint? It reminded me of there was a game on PS4, and I'm drawing a blank on the name, where you are an astronaut and you clone yourself, and your clones die because you have to like direct them in puzzles and whatnot, but you don't know like if you are the clone or not. You know, it's kind of like Prestige, where like, wait, am I the clone or am I the original? I know what game you're
talking about. I just can't remember.
You know what game I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
It kind of felt like that to me, where you have all these, they look like clones. They're not, I assume. Yeah. They're all of the same species, but they're all just mindlessly following behind you, and you're leading them into slaughter sometimes to get past puzzles. And it reminded me of that in like a disturbing way. And I don't know what the intent necessarily is with Oddworld, but that was what my mind went to. And I was like, wow, this is much darker than I was expecting. But once again, I've seen a lot of people saying, yes, Oddworld's back, baby. I've been waiting for this. Mike's one of them. I know Mike is a big Oddworld fan.
Yeah,
so
we heard it.
Cool. Resident Evil 8 Village.
I loved it. You guys
I think it's really cool. It feels like a departure for me. It's back to first person, which isn't a departure, but the atmosphere felt different than what I typically imagined for Resident Evil. Right down to like the Wolfman at the end. Like, that was so outside of what I imagined Resident Evil to be. Yeah. That was like Victorian horror in a way, like witches and werewolves. Like, it's not. I think it's going to turn some people off, honestly.
I mean, yeah, I think so. I know a lot of people who are very upset the fact that it's back to first person again with Ethan. I know people who are like,
I'm okay with
God,
that.
I don't want to do this again. And that's fine. I think that's a really cool thing. Is Resident Evil now has the ability to kind of branch between all that stuff. I mean, because, you know, the classic fans are going to have Resident Evil 4 remake here pretty soon, you know, and they're going to enjoy that. Whereas I loved what 8 looked like. I'm excited for it. I loved 7. I enjoyed playing 7, especially the prologue. The prologue of the first 30 minutes of the game will always be one of my highlights of the generation for me, because of just the atmosphere, the lighting, the music, that everything just clicks.
The beginning of that game is by far the best. It does, I think, gradually fall down in quality by the end. Which is okay. It never becomes a bad game, but yeah, those first 3 hours are something really special. And I never played it in VR, but I do wonder
terrifying.
If they're with them going back to first person, with it being at the PlayStation reveal event, do we get PSVR 2? Is Resident Evil 8 a showpiece of, you know, of that hardware?
Yeah, I would hope so. I hope so.
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible.
Yeah,
we'll have to wait and see. But I feel like if you're going first person, and you've got at least PSVR, maybe PSVR 2, you take advantage of that, because it did well. It's one of the showpiece titles already of PSVR, Resident Evil 7. That's usually the one that's brought up, at least one of the few that's brought up as a showpiece. I'm going to skip a few things. I went back and I watched Sackboy: A Big Adventure. I remember us talking about that being sort of like a low point. It looks really, really fun. It looks like it could be actually a really strong 3D platformer.
Yeah, I think what happened was it was just, we came off of, didn't I come off right after Astrobot, I think? And it was just kind of weird.
Astrobot was actually later.
Was it? Okay.
And Astrobot, as we'll talk about, I'll just say it now, that is actually bundled in with every PlayStation 5.
5, yeah. And
there's actually some crazy speculation going around with that title about it maybe being the Trojan horse for backwards compatibility that they're still not announcing. I think it's a very low chance of that. But what's cool is there are 4 worlds within Astrobot Playroom, and each world is set after a generation. So one is themed around PS1, one's themed around PS2, 3, and 4, and each world is also meant to show off a certain feature of the controller, similar to Playroom on PS4 and how that showed off the camera and the controller and in combination. But How crazy would it be if this is the software you jump into for like the emulation hub? You know, like to launch your backwards compatibility games. I think it's very unlikely, but people are still holding on to that possibility.
That'd be crazy. That'd be so crazy.
But I cut you off there. I'm sorry. So Little Big Planet or Sackboy: A Big Adventure did come before that Astrobot, which also looks great. I think that looks fantastic. But what Sackboy: A Big Adventure looks like to me is a PS4 game. Was 100% built as a PS4 game, and they brought it to PS5 as another little boost, another exclusive to tout as the family friendly title of the launch. And I think it'll work just fine. I think honestly it's gonna be better than Knack. I am not one of the people that really bashes Knack. I thought it was a fine launch title, but I bet you this is better than Knack. Well, so if you're looking for a family-friendly game at launch, there you go. Sackboy: A Big Adventure.
And I also think too, if they just price it right too, it'll be a big success too. I think what was weird is it came off strange looking, but it does look fun. I do like a little bit of the departure of instead of it being a 2D like Little Big Planet, it's got more of that like
3D
I want to
world.
Say old school 3D world. Thank you. Yeah. That actually makes perfect sense.
And then you also have the 4-person co-op
that
you can do with the game. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's not going to shatter review scores. It'll probably be in the 7s and the 8s or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it'll score better than Knack's 58. And I'm sure a lot of families will have a great time with it. Far Center in the chat saying Sackboy with Dedrick. He'll play it. So there you go. Another one that looks like it could be a lot of fun with the family and with your online buddies, Destruction All-Stars.
I can't wait, dude. Can we play that?
This game looked like a lot of chaotic fun.
Yeah, it looks like it's definitely going to be one of those. I hope the price is right for it, for sure.
Yeah.
But I
$30.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I mean,
or a free PS Plus game?
Either or. I mean, I would say like $30, maybe even 40 would actually probably be a good sweet spot for
It would
that.
remind me of Rocket League though. Rocket League was it at launch or was it shortly after launch that was with PS Plus?
Rocket League was shortly after launch because I think it
was
Resogun
could be
first. Then it was it was a C game by Ilfaniak. Contrast.
Contrast, which was
Contrast,
okay.
And then I think it was Rocket League and then Outlast. I think is what it was. I think Rocket League and Outlast were like the big 1-2 punch.
So there you go. This 2-3 months into the life cycle, make this your Rocket League.
Yeah.
I could see that happening. Get a lot of people on board, have microtransactions maybe with this game, with car skins and all that, and they could probably do pretty well with this.
Yeah.
They get a free-to-play game, essentially, because so many people are going to pick it up.
I mean, we were all joking about Twisted Metal, and look, we kind of got it.
Yeah, a little bit. It's car combat, but you are able to get out of the car.
And I love it. I can't
and like
wait.
drop kick people and shit. But also, you can like get power-ups where the front of your car turns into like a huge blade, and you can slice other cars in half. Like it's almost like BattleBots. You remember that show, BattleBots?
Yeah. I mean,
it looked like a lot of fun. It really did. And visually, the animation, it was sharp, man. It had a lot of character.
It was actually weird. There was only like Digital Foundry even mentioned it. It was funny. Like they said like it was a 4K 60 presentation, I think is what they said. But they said there's one 1080p shot in that trailer. It's very bizarre.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely looked like it was all about being like high quality, image quality. I mean, with high frame rate without having super detailed assets. It's not really about that. It's about like the quickness, the chaos. Yeah. So it's going to work really well in that. Let's get into the two games that turned out to be console exclusive as a major surprise, Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo.
And two of our games that you and I both were very positive on Bethesda's conference last year, or the shit
More
show
so Ghostwire Tokyo. Part of that had to do with Akume Nakamura, but either way, that reveal trailer, that CGI reveal trailer, had so much character and atmosphere that I was like, I could see myself keeping an eye on this one without any gameplay whatsoever. Now we've had gameplay, and honestly, it surprised me. I was not expecting to be first person, and I wasn't expecting the mechanics to pretty much be like spells almost, like through hand movements. Like
that was the thing for me is like Ghostwire. Like when I saw that, I was kind of like first person, okay, and then like it just kind of kept going in, and I was like, oh, this wasn't quite what I expected, but I was like, whenever they started doing the spells like with the gates and everything like that, I was like, okay, hold up, there's more to this game that is going on that we don't know about. It just it threw me off because I thought we were gonna get like a really very dense third person horror, from that team that made Evil Within, and
Yeah, I was
it was
expecting
surprising to see
Evil
first
Within.
person. You know,
Yeah,
it'll be cool. I think. They said that the game already uses more of the haptic feedbacks from the controllers.
nice.
There's things about like sensing like invisible enemies with it. You can only feel that from the controller itself. Like it's some strange
That's
stuff they're
awesome.
doing with that. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, horror games are going to be the
insane.
genre that best utilize all these new controller features. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's part of the reason PlayStation went after them with this game for some type of timed exclusivity to better associate it with the features of the DualSense controller and kind of
Yeah.
nail that, like saying like this is what you can do. This is what horror is capable of, especially if this biometric feedback stuff that we're hearing is true,
Yeah.
especially for streamers, being able to potentially put their heart rate up on stream or whatever,
Mhm.
while they're playing something like Ghostwire Tokyo. That could be cool. I'd be
It
down for
could be cool.
that. I dedefinitely would check that out. Deathloop
I want it. Can
also
I have it
surprised
now?
me. I never would have thought like a 1v1 game would happen today. Like it seems so restricted
The big
in
5
scope.
6 for the pulsar.
Yeah.
And it's the second
I'm better
game
than
of
Vince.
this event that's really about a loop, about dying and starting over again.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of a genre in itself now. It's almost like a rogue, I guess you could say. But in this one, I don't know the character's name, but the male character, you are trying to kill somebody, right? And
So the main dude you're playing as, you have 8 targets that you need to kill before midnight. So the game is going to randomly reset every time you die. That's the loop. So
Right.
it's a puzzle game. And the thing is, it's also like Hitman, to where like they show like the one target with the wolf mask can go on the stage. So you can somehow trigger the stage to where like he would fall through and hit the grate.
Right.
That's the whole point. So then you have the other assassin who is there as the I guess the location's protector, and she is there just to kill the other dude, and that's to keep the loop constantly going. And that's where the really cool thing is. So you have the story-driven game, but with a 1v1 in like multiplayer aspect.
do you know for sure that it's story based? Because I was almost wondering if this game was just
Yes.
skirmishes, kind of like Evolve
No.
or something.
Nope, they said that right now. It's like the game is story-based, story narrative-driven. It's Arcane's attempt to do a narrative story-driven game with a very asymmetric multiplayer feature built into it. So like the thing
I
is,
honestly can't understand how this works. My
So
mind
then-
is not able to wrap around how
so then
this works.
the other thing is if you can actually play the game offline, you would think, well, that breaks the game because you don't have the second assassin, right? No, she's there. She's an AI. So
Okay.
the entire world is still simulated the entire way. But the cool thing
Yeah,
is
but
that
if you are playing as the girl, are
You
you
can kill
also playing a story? Do they each have their own story?
well, her story is she's just supposed to kill him. And that's going to be my guess. Is whereas as people keep progressing with him, there'll be more twists there on what happens there. Like that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't think we have all the full details on the
No.
actual loop yet.
That's really cool though that they are trying
Yeah.
to integrate a story into this, a narrative. Because I
that's
honestly
why
wasn't expecting that after the
that-
trailer.
I mean, that's why I'm saying like I'm super hyped for that game because it's one of those games is where like this could be pushing something. This could be something different or unique. To where like we've seen that with like Watch Dogs and other things, to where like you could be running down the street with Watch Dogs and think, hey, someone can actually hack you. I mean, that's kind of cool. We've seen it in Dark Souls all the time. So
Yeah.
having something that's got more of this narrative focus and you pull it back just 1v1, I don't know. I'm really hoping that Deathloop can succeed. And plus the power showcase looked amazing. Him throwing the one dude to the wall, shooting the other dude in the face, and then
when he
throwing
started just like throwing people off the
I
the
was
walkway and stuff, I was like, wow, that looked really cool. That
Yeah.
had a power behind it that was really like tangible. Like I was like, holy shit! Like I felt that. Like I felt
and
like
imagine that in the controller now with your arm
yes, right, yeah.
throwing that over now 3D audio
And maybe
too.
even I was gonna say too, 3D audio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks promising. And as we said, both of those are timed PS5 exclusive. How long? Who knows? But either way, that
Those are two
not
big,
something I would have expected from Bethesda
no.
to do timed exclusives on PS5. No
No.
way. I'm going to rewind to the beginning of this trailer because this was one of my best of
I think
show.
we all
games.
freaked out on this.
Yes. I'm going to put this up on the full screen for a little bit too.
Sounds good.
Kena and the Bridge Spirits, or Kena the Bridge Spirits, I should say. Pretty much a new studio. They're called
Yeah.
like Ember Lab, and they've done a short film for Majora's Mask as well.
Yep.
And so they're animation guys,
Yep.
and it shows because holy God, does this game look fantastic from an animation standpoint, visuals in general, but especially animation. I was watching this and I was like, "Oh, this is CGI, right? This is CGI." Like, no, this is not CGI. This is the game, and it really looks like it's so trite and cliche to say it, but it looks like a Pixar film.
Yeah.
It
They
really
nailed it.
does. And I think that was Ken Watanabe too. That sounds so much like Ken Watanabe doing the voice of the villain. So
Yeah.
an amazing voice actor if they got Ken Watanabe on this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big deal. And we analyzed this a little bit on my stream, and we got to that one where she's walking by like the city and everything like that, and I was like, how is this even possible? Like, it looks like a shot out of a CG animated film. It's crazy.
And even when it goes to gameplay, as we're seeing here, it still looks beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's not just the cutscenes. The game looks beautiful.
And I love the little spirits, the rot as they are called.
It's got a Miyazaki vibe to it for sure.
Yeah. And I love this like little part here where like she has them like crawl onto like the one enemy and she shoots the arrows and like her arrows bounce off. I mean, it's great. There's gonna be some really cool moments like that city shot. I just can't believe it. It's like, what the hell is this?
That's the only thing that I'm not saying I'm concerned, but I just hope that these guys can bring some innovative mechanics to the table because they're like as I said, they're animation guys. They're film guys maybe even.
Yeah.
So they're jumping into a new medium. And I hope that they brought in a team that is going to create a cool combat system.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing that could potentially hold this back. Because it doesn't seem like it's going to be the visuals or even the story or anything like that. It looks like it's going to be a really cool game from all those aspects. They just gotta find a way to make the combat compelling as well. So
yeah.
Another one I got on screen right now, I'm going to stay on it, is Little Devil Inside. Another show stealer for a lot of people, actually, from an indie standpoint. This game... Not, pushing ground in visuals, but its artistic direction and humor is something really special.
Just shows that shiny graphics don't mean everything,
No,
and it's amazing what you could do with a simple style. The game story is actually very interesting. This was like a 2015 Kickstarter game.
Yep.
It's really got a weird development cycle, for sure. I have no idea what we're going to do. I just want to play it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it looks like you go through a lot of different environments. It's got a lot of different combat mechanics. You got swords and guns, and you also have a completely different character shown. There's this contrast between him and this old man that just keeps going back and forth for humorous reasons in the trailer. But like, what is that all about? Like, what are you doing in this game?
Right.
We'll have to wait and see. But I am intrigued. I'm very, very intrigued by this one. Little Devil Inside. Keep an eye on that one. Let's see. What else did I miss here? Goodbye, Volcano High. We'll go through this one really quickly because there's not a lot to talk about, but very Life is Strange indie vibe going on here, but with non-human characters in a high school. And
they're all part of a band and
playing a band. Yeah.
Drama. Yeah.
Looks like it's going to have some good music. Yeah.
Something about that clicked with me. I was like, I want to play this. I don't know why I want to play this, but I want to play this.
I'll keep an eye on it because of those Life is Strange vibes I got for some reason. I will keep an eye on that one. Now the best of show for sure. Bug Snacks.
Bug Snacks.
It's all about Bug Snacks.
Let's be real. I love this.
I mean, it looks adorable. It's the same team that did Octodad, so it's going to be quirky. It's going to be weird as hell. But a lot of people talked about it. They got people talking because it just was such a bizarre little trailer that I don't quite understand what the intent of the game is, like what the loop is, but
and the dark twist at the end there with the thing becoming all sentient and then attacking the camera, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what's that? This is a whole sinister vibe. It's got dark real quick.
Yeah. Solar Ash, I'm not. It kind of reminded me of. It was
Hyper Light Drifter, right? Is where it was at. And I also want to say, what was that other game that it was like the ballerina dancing game?
Exactly what I was going to say. Yep, Bound or something like that. Bound?
Thank you. Yeah, I think so.
That's exactly what I thought of, Bound.
Yeah.
It's got the same like visual style to it. I don't know. I don't really have much to say about this one in all honesty. It was one of the ones that didn't stick with me too much.
Character movement speed was the only thing that looked kind of like interesting. I was like, ooh, she's got some speed there. Okay. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen there.
Watch it be the one that reviews well.
Yeah.
Best, actually. Hitman 3, Vince.
God, everyone saw my reaction. I was freaking out. I was
freaking out, man.
That was the thing. Is like, when we were talking about the music at the start of the stream, I was like, that song that kept playing. I was like, I want to say this is Hitman. I didn't say it because I was like, I want to say this is Hitman.
You would have nailed it, man. You should have done it.
Sounds it. I should have. But then seeing the Dubai stuff, I mean, it was very short. I was a little disappointed on that, but I don't know. I know it's cross-generational because they did announce it is for PS4 and the other Xbox systems as well. So it is cross-generational. Yeah. But I gotta wonder, what are the next gen improvements going to be for that game? Is it going to be even more? Is it going to be more AI? Is it going to be denser worlds? Is it going to be loading quicker? Because the Hitman games do have some pretty slow loading on consoles. So
yeah.
Oh my god, I can't wait though. And considering it's January, that's so close.
Right. That was probably the biggest surprise of it all, was that it's only half a year away or so.
Yeah,
that was not expected. Capcom did 2 games in a row. Actually, I forgot to talk about this one. Right after Resident Evil 8, they showed this weird trailer. Some of us are like, "What is this? Death Stranding? Like, is this a Kojima game?"
We were all freaking like, we were all like, what is going on?
It was trippy as hell. And it's called Pragmata.
Yeah.
The game's trailer shows a spaceman protecting the world and a little girl from otherworldly forces, and the character walking through desolate futuristic streets. It looks like something Hideo Kojima would concoct. It'll be a while before we get our hands on it, which will release for PS5 and Xbox Series X in 2022. So yeah, they launched this way ahead of time, or revealed it way ahead of time. I was intrigued by it because of how trippy it was, but I don't have much else to say about it at this moment besides that it looks like it's got a cool vibe.
It's got a cool vibe, and it looks like it's going to do more of like a hybrid system for Capcom, because you're going to have the dude who has like all like the gadgets and whatnot, but it looks like the girl is going to be the one who's going to be like the support, but she's also going to be like your puzzle solver, to where like she's the one who analyzes that satellite as it falls down, and she gives him the ability to make that whole safety net that they do. So it's I don't know what they're going to go for that. It's an escort game mixed in with like a puzzle game. It's going to be weird.
Let's move on to what YouTube views would tell me were the 2 biggest games of the show. First up, Demon's Souls.
Wow.
Been set up, a lot of smoke there for, I want to say, like a year and a half now.
A year and a half now.
Yeah, of Blue Point's working on Demon's Souls. Jason Schreier confirms it. It's just been nonstop, and I think so much smoke surrounding it almost made people wonder if it wouldn't be that, like you.
Like me, because I kept thinking it was a false flag.
But it was Occam's razor. It was simple. It was Demon's Souls the whole time, and I feel like, honestly, what they showed during the event did a disservice to how amazing that game looks.
Yeah, can we talk about that? Because that's been nothing but everyone complaining about that CG trailer, but then they've released the screenshots, and people have been like, my God. Like,
wait, what they showed during the PS5 event CG? Because it didn't look like CG to me.
So certain shots are CG, certain shots aren't. So like the landscape shots actually are half and half. There's half CG, half not. I think like the big nature shot that you see with the forest, that's not. But the one with the river, that's CG. The demon, I'm sorry, what's the last boss's name? The big
I've never played
dragon
Demon's Souls, so I don't know.
I can't remember. He sucks. I hate him so much. That was CG. But like the demons coming down and like attacking the player character, that is, I think, real time.
Okay.
And stuff like that.
I mean, you got to look at the images, because they haven't shown video of gameplay yet, but you can see gameplay images, 4K images, and Blue Point was not lying when they said they wanted to like be the one that ushers in like next generation visuals. They weren't lying, because this game looks insane.
Looks like
absolutely insane. It does. I remember like people saw Deep Down and like, this isn't possible. There's no way. And it turned out to be true. Like it wasn't possible. This looks like what Deep Down was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Finally, we've gotten there.
Yeah. All within 7 years.
Yeah. It only took 7 years.
Yeah.
Now, it is a little bit of a different look to it than the original. I know a lot of people are talking about like color grading and bloom and things like that. But let's not forget Shadow of the Colossus and all of the different filters they had on that game. They've had a lot of customization to make that game look how you wanted it to look, right? If you wanted to try and make it look like the original, you could get pretty close to that. They had their own sort of visual flair they were going for, but if you wanted to make it look like the original SOTC, you could get it pretty close. I bet you it's the same with Demon's Souls.
And I kind of actually don't really get the complaint with that because like we're moving from different color palettes as we keep going on. So it's just like one of those things of like, let it just be. I haven't understood a lot of negativity behind the art direction of the game because it's like, I don't know. I think what Blue Point's doing is insane. Like I mean, they're not doing just a simple repatch. They're going through and like adding so much detail. Like in the one-to-one shot I showed in the Discord, that's the same area. There's like 2 plants. In the remake, it's an entire overgrown vegetation like valley because shit happened. You know, so I
not only that, but I've heard that there was supposed to be a final DLC that released for Demon's Souls that never came out, and they are building that for
that would have been the ice world that you saw in the trailer. That would have been the place we'd have gone. It would have been the 6th world stone is broken in the game.
And it never came out on the original?
Yeah, so I don't know how much of this you want told, but like essentially when you die from the prologue, because you usually die because it was the very first Souls game and it just did not care about destroying your hopes and dreams, you would then be transported to the Nexus, and that was like the hub of the game. And then you would go into the stages via world stones. And you only had one unlocked at first. You need to go beat the boss to unlock that. And then it was like this kind of like Metrovania style type deal to where you kind of kept going but not going. And like you'd find something that was over here that you needed to pass a puzzle on that one. Like that's where Demon's Souls was like very difficult because these journeys to go grab these pieces were long and the checkpoints behind them were very long indeed. And it was tough. Like, you know how most of the Souls games now have like checkpoints right before bosses.
Yeah.
I don't think Demon's Souls had that very randomly. To where like some would work out that way and other ones would be like, nope, you got like a 10-minute trek to go find the boss.
Let me put it up here real quick, the video. What do you think, now that this is not From Software, this is Blue Point making this, and it's with, I think, Sony Japan as well.
Yes.
Do you think there's any chance that they actually create a casual mode?
Maybe, because I think accessibility has been kind of more the forefront now.
Yes,
and I
think 100% it is, yeah.
And the other thing, too, we also don't know is what their fractured mode is. And for what I understand what that might be, is that might be a randomizer. And if it's a randomizer, I think Blue Point might literally have fans just love this game for years and years and years. Because if it's going to be a randomizer, people love that. But I think it's the time now for something like accessibility there. Because the Souls games, I get they're supposed to be tough. They're supposed to be difficult. And that's the thing that, and maybe I don't have the best perspective on this. I thought Demon's Souls was harder than playing Dark Souls 1, 2, or 3. But like there's something that doesn't click there for me on those games to where I can't beat those games. But I've only beaten Demon's Souls and Sekiro. I haven't even beaten Bloodborne. So there's something about Demon's Souls that as an RPG, I think works better, even though From says Dark Souls was like the Demon's Souls they wanted to make, which I don't quite understand what that's all about. I don't know. I do think it's time that we have some accessibility on like, you know, it has to
I think so. If they don't add it, that's fine. But if anybody complains that they do add it, those people need to just shut their mouths. It's not taking anything away from your playthrough. Don't do it. Just don't play it. Don't even acknowledge it exists. You're fine. Like, why would you complain that more people get to play this game? There are a lot of people that can't play this game, not because of get good reasons, but because of
reflexes,
handicaps, or there's so many reasons that somebody might not be able to play these great games, and they really want to. They really want to play these games. Like, why would you say like, no, don't give that to them?
Yeah, and we talked about that too a little bit, just a teeny bit with Fallen Order. I even brought that up. I was like the accessibility option behind that because there wasn't any, and I thought it was very strange that the whenever you died and the enemy had like your force and it would do like an unblockable attack. Well, that red line, that red hue that you would see from that didn't happen when that happened. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you can't just get rid of something like that. It was someone's death. They don't have that audio cue. Like you need the accessibility now, I think, for a lot of games like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a dedicated site to grading accessibility in games. And The Last of Us, which we'll talk about in a moment, got a perfect 10 because the amount of accessibility options they have in that game, I think there's like 60 something accessibility
70.
settings. 70? It's
70.
ridiculous.
And they're adding even more day one.
Yeah, like that's what I'm talking about. That's where gaming is heading, and it should head in that direction. We, of course, have Microsoft doing great things as well with their new controller, the Adaptive, I think it's called, the Adaptive controller. Yeah, so all of them need to be heading in this direction. It's going to, for one, it's going to be good for them because it's going to bring in new people, but it's just going to grow the community and the medium of gaming in a major way and bring in people that have been waiting to become a part of this medium and this community.
And I wouldn't even disable trophies or anything like that. I mean, you're still playing the game. You're playing it so that way you can play it. Like, yeah, I wouldn't even disable trophies. I'm with you. Everyone wants to play. Play has no limits.
We would like to play, to go with an old Nintendo slogan. All right, the best of show for the Level Up chat, according to the poll earlier. Horizon Forbidden West. It was definitely the visual showcase. As I said, Ratchet and Clank up until that moment for me was like the holy shit, like wow, this is insane moment. But Horizon, to cap it off, was the one where it's like, wow, okay, yep, this is their Senua's Saga, moment.
Yep.
Where it's like, is this real? Especially when you look at the 4K images afterwards. That one of her diving underwater, I look at it like I've looked at that so many times now, inspecting it and like just thinking like, this is gameplay. This is in game.
Yeah.
Like what? This is insane.
I think the shot with her riding the oh my god, I can't remember things, but it's the long cliff shot and it's showing all the grass waving.
The foliage,
and I'm just like,
oh my god.
I'm just like, Ghost of Tsushima is gonna spoil me, but Horizon's at least gonna back me up on it.
And I have to say that, like, just based on the trailer alone, I feel like I'm more interested in the base of the story than the original. I really like that the wildlife is infected and dying and it's like a plague almost that's destroying life, and she's investigating it almost. It kind of reminds me of Ori a little bit from a story standpoint, or you're trying to like bring life back to the forest, but it's drawing me in more so than the original did at like a base value. And I love it. I love what they're going for.
Yeah, I love what they're going for. I need to finish this game. I actually have never truly finished it. I've only ever played like a good portion of like the start of it, and I've never finished it. So I need to get
a little bit of a Moana vibe here I'm getting. I just like watching this now.
A little bit. I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to do with the Dicema engine now, especially with all these technical, like that shot right there. I know I'm delayed, but oh my god, so good.
But I finished the original, but I will say I feel like streaming it was a major detriment to that game's story for me, because there's a lot of audio logs and this and that, and I felt like it would have prolonged my journey through that game as a streamer for way too long. So I skipped pretty much all of the audio logs in that game, and I kind of just took the presented story. And I think for that reason, it didn't quite impress me as much as maybe it should have from a plot standpoint. So I don't know what's going to happen with this one. This is the problem with major RPGs, is I don't have the time for them anymore.
Right.
And like Final Fantasy is something I made a major exception for, obviously, where I've been streaming that game for 2 months now, and I made sure like that I would skip Level Up show episodes to make it happen. That's not going to be the case normally. So I'm a little worried about that, but it's not their problem. It's my problem.
Yeah.
It's on me. What are you going to do? But I mean, I get it. I get why you guys would vote for it, because holy shit, does it look fantastic.
It does.
I kind of wish that Aloy had a little bit of a different design though.
Yeah, that was the only thing that I was kind of like a little slightly disappointed on. Here's the thing: in the game, we'll be able to customize her, so maybe that'll be
of course,
kind of how they're doing that. But I do agree that we should have gotten like a sequel redesign, or maybe
just
they'll
her
reveal
looking
that.
older. I'm sure this game takes place several years after the first one. Like, she's wearing the exact same outfit, and she really doesn't look almost any different from an age perspective. Yeah, so I would have liked a little bit of something there, even like a different hairstyle. I don't know, just something to separate it from the first game.
And then,
finally,
oh my,
up on screen right now.
Can we talk about how they teased us with that opening little UI shot though that was just
We'll get
frustrating.
yes. We'll get to that in a moment because we're gonna talk
Okay.
UI stuff.
I see that.
Let's talk about the design first, the console design, and let me put a poll in the chat.
I love it. I love it. I don't care. I love it. I
It
love
was
everything.
jarring when you first see it, right? I liked it from the beginning, but I will admit, like, it was almost like jarring how curvy, and I think some people would say over designed it is. It's become sort of the pattern for them to simulate a building design with their hardware, and this is also the case. From what I understand, they actually have a building that they used as their sort of template for the design of this console, and it's striking. It's very striking. I'd say it's bold in a similar way to Xbox is bold, just because they're trying to do something super unique. I'm not going to take that away from Xbox. Xbox is literally just a box, but I do think it's bold because it's in its simplicity. Whereas this one is bold in its, I guess, I don't think we've never seen a console be this.
It wants you
obtuse.
To pay attention to it.
Yes, it's really trying to draw your attention. It's a design. It's a showpiece. It's like, it's supposed to be like when you walk into the room, it's like, what the hell is that?
Right.
It looks like an art piece. It literally looks like a piece of art. Now, I think some people don't want that. An abstract piece of art. It's kind of what it is. It's abstract almost in a way. But I'm of the opinion, in gaming at least, that it shouldn't just blend in with your entertainment center. If that's what you feel, I that's fine. I get it. But this is not an audio receiver. This is not your cable box. Like, for me, a gaming console is a showpiece.
Right.
So I want it to be striking.
I mean, I love that very narrow V. I'm sorry. I love that so much.
It's a deep V. It's a real deep V.
I love it. And oh my God, this part right here where they shocked us. We were all like, wait, what are they doing? And then we saw this was a digital version.
And you guys just finished up in the poll in the chat saying very likely to get the regular edition. It was not even close, actually. Regular edition way ahead of digital. I haven't bought a physical game for years now. I'm trying to think of the last one I did. And the only time I'm ever tempted to get physical is collector's editions at this point. I don't see a reason for me to get the physical edition of this console.
I have 9 games I got to transfer over to digital. I'm buying digital. There's no point in me doing physical. I don't want it anymore because I don't have the space for discs anymore. And my computer and my Switch are all digital. Like, I don't do physical. I don't do physical. And I don't know. 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray players, I mean, it's cool. I haven't
bought a movie in longer than I've bought a game. I haven't bought a movie in close to a decade.
Yeah, and that's the tough thing right now too, is that like if you want a 4K UHD player, you can get it for cheaper than what you're going to get a PS5 for. Especially if, they do something crazy and they say PS5 regular $499, PlayStation 5 digital $399. I mean, you're looking at pretty much that same price there. So I don't know.
Yeah, let's talk about price a little bit because you posted earlier, I think it might have been direct message, about the financial meeting that Sony had, and that might indicate a little bit of the direction they're heading in with price.
Yeah, and that's my thing, was because I actually kind of reached out to you because I was like, I actually have no idea what any of this means, and I was like, I hope you know something more than I do.
Honestly, that was a lot of information in there, and I was like, I don't know if I have the time to look at all of this.
I mean, I looked at it. Essentially what they did was they looked at not only how the quarter 2013 fit for them, but also how the PS4 launched and all this stuff. So apparently Sony had done this. They're saying that they're going to have a yearly net profit or operation profit of like 1.62 billion to 1.87 billion, I guess. And they did this whole thing where, like, listen, if you look at the attach rate of PlayStation Plus and games, digital service, all this stuff, they just went down this whole list, and they were like, so already within this quarter of whatever, they've done so well with Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Last of Us Part 2 is probably going to see exceptionally well. So they did all this math. I'm really giving the cliff notes here because it's like you said, it was so much information.
It's a lot, yeah.
They essentially came up with a formula. They were like, they saw that the digital version of the console was going to be $399 because it would be sold at whatever loss it was, and the regular edition would be sold at for $49, only $50 more. And either way, if they did either one of those two ways, it would still give you that 1.72 billion in profit. And then they all even did skews on that way too, where they're like, if they did this and this, it would give you the 1.6. Like, I don't know how any of that stuff is fluid, but like, it was like, that's actually kind of a good case there. Cause like, even if you have the physical edition being $4.99 and the digital version only being $3.99, you still have that. Cause it does look like the bill of materials is $4.50. That's apparently been the big number that has been tossed around.
Yeah, for a while now, yeah.
That is the number. And that's the other thing I don't quite understand with people saying that the Series X is going to be cheaper, because they've already heard that too.
The only way it's cheaper is if Xbox takes a bath on
like
it.
A massive loss. Massive loss.
Which, I mean, yeah, it's possible. Everybody keeps bringing up the war chest, but I mean, they've had this war chest for a long time now. That didn't stop Xbox One from being $500 with a Kinect. You know, like, they could have taken a loss there too. I'm not sure that they're, just because it's Xbox doesn't mean it's Microsoft. I know that Xbox is a part of Microsoft, but that doesn't mean they get all of the money that Microsoft has. You know, like, the treatment of that. It's not good business really to do that. Am I saying that it can't happen? No, of course not. We've seen this happen before. PlayStation took like a $200+ loss when every console sold with PS3. So that they could have the Trojan horse of Blu-ray. So yes, it happens. It certainly could, but I don't know. I don't think PlayStation is going to let it happen. And I think that's why they did the digital version. Honestly, I think it's so that they do have that variation in price, and they can respond accordingly, or get out in front of Lockhart or something like that, which we'll talk about later. Rumors of Lockhart again. So I still think that there is a genuine possibility that we're going to get a $3.99 digital version of PS5.
And then here's the other big thing too, is we saw, this is where the other thing that I want to talk about. We've already seen the digital attach rate go up so high on PlayStation. What is it now? Like a 60% of all software is now digital.
After COVID, I wouldn't be surprised if it stays higher than that.
It was that was before COVID. And now it's like, I think, we don't know the actual details there, but I don't know. I mean, you do that, you do $3.99, you buy a couple games, and like, if you're still trying to do losses, like I don't know. I think it can easily offset it. And especially if we get a reintroduction of PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now together, and they have a new service there or something like that. I mean, it's doable. It's just a matter, is Sony going to do it or not? Yeah.
Yep. That is the big question. And also, it's going to depend strongly on who breaks first.
Yep.
Because, I mean, they're so clearly playing this game of chicken right now. With Xbox as well, moving dates around, which we'll get to in a moment. Let's get into UI discussion, because you brought it up very briefly for a second there. We did get a very short glimpse at UI here. It was literally the welcome, press this button type thing, like go into your user account screen. And honestly, just that screen alone looked really nice. I thought it looked really cool.
That jingle is so uplifting. It was like, oh, okay.
Ooh. Yeah, so I was impressed right off the bat with what they showed. So I'm not surprised that today there was a little bit more information going around based off of LinkedIn posts from the UX design vice president at PlayStation. Matt McLaren, his name is, and here's what he had to say. Hi. My team is the user interface, not the ID. You'll see our stuff soon. A little more pragmatic, but a 100% overhaul of PS4 UI. Very different new concept. So let's break this down a little bit here. He said, you'll see our stuff soon. Yeah. So does that mean August, maybe? Or a little more pragmatic, 100% overhaul. Yeah. So a lot of people were thinking, based on the patent stuff, that it was going to be very similar. But he's saying 100% overhaul, and he gives into even more detail in a little bit here. Primary focus was the OS UI, hasn't been shown yet, largely cleaning up core functionality, but some key new bets that you'll see soon. Excited about what we've got to show there. As it's UI, it's practical first, but it's a whole new visual language and a complete re-architecting of the user interface. Once again, just driving home, like, this is completely new. Big time. While we are obsessed with function, very few pixels left from the PS4 gen. Most important experience goals measured in milliseconds across the entire UI. The PS marketing team is the best in the business, in my opinion, comparable to Nest in their prime, but profitable. Brilliant marketing, always looks effortless.
So just so we know, Matt McLaurin was actually part of Nest right before they got bought by Google and everything like that. They were there. He was there with Nest initially when they started. So if everyone wonders what that comment's about, that's why. But I actually want to go back up. So that most important is experience goals measured in milliseconds across the entire UI. In that thread on Resetera, now I know insiders have completely dropped the ball on everything here, but some person randomly put down 200 ms. And everyone was like, "What?" Like that's all he did. He just posted 200 ms, and everyone was like, "What does this mean?" And apparently, one of the moderators were like, "I'll allow it," and we were like, "Dear God,
I'll allow it."
Dear
so what?
God.
The entire UI loads in 200 milliseconds?
Yeah, so that'd be 2.2 seconds.
That's insane.
That would be from like where you press the PlayStation button is what I'm assuming. You're gonna press that, and it's just gonna be whoop. That's
honestly,
UI.
that's so fast that it's faster than the animation, the transition that they're probably going to want to have for the OS to appear. Because it would be jarring if it's just like, boop, it just like, flashes in and it's there. You're going to want to have this smooth, welcome transition. So it's actually faster than they even need it to be.
Right. So I don't know how true that is. Let's be real here. Everyone who watches on YouTube later, I have no idea how true this is. But it's a good indication to see kind of like, that's what even what the patents we're talking about, especially now with stat tracking and all these other things. Like, I don't know, man. I think we're in for a treat on that UI. And especially considering that it looks like Microsoft is very much going for the brand approach. The new dashboard update will be the same on the Series X as it will be on the Xbox One family. I don't know. We're not going to get that on the PS4. You're not going to get the PS5 UI on the PS4. So I think it's going to be really cool. It's going to be that nice new shiny moment.
I'm really excited about that. I did put a poll in the chat and it got a little messed up because people thought 10 meant 10. But just going off the math here, the winner is a perfect 10 for the conference with 4 votes, 2 votes for 9, 1 vote for 8. So you guys loved it. Even 8's a fantastic score, but 4 people voting that this is a perfect 10. I still say I'm going to give it a 9 myself. I do think it was missing one more big thing like a Silent Hill, like a Final Fantasy, but at the same time, I totally get it. August will be their moment to do that one extra thing. And I do think we get Silent Hill in August. I don't know that we get Final Fantasy. I'm not going to bank on that. I think that people were confused on Project Athia and Final Fantasy and all that. But I do think we get Silent Hill revealed in August.
Yeah, I think for me the conference was very much. I'm trying to walk away from doing like actual numbered ratings. I know it's kind of jarring, but like it would be more like a gold. It'd be more like a gold for me. Everything felt pretty well done. There was, like you said, just those couple things that were just like this isn't a platinum presentation right now. Like this isn't like the best thing I could see though.
It wasn't as good as like their best E3, for example. Right. It wasn't that good.
But if you want to do comparatives, I think this was 1,000 times better than what the PS4 reveal was.
I was thinking about that, and I feel like I need to go back and watch it because I remember the PS4 reveal also blowing my mind at the time.
It's Shadowfall. Shadowfall is the thing that blows.
I don't think it was just Shadowfall. I think it was that intro video. I think it was the atmosphere of it all, the big show center. There is something to be said about like having this audience and the spectacle of it. That's something you just can't do with a digital presentation. So I do think you lose a little something there. But I get it at the same time. I think even if COVID wasn't happening, it just doesn't make sense anymore to do that. Right. It's just not worth it. This thing saw millions, 3 million alone on YouTube, it's another couple million on Twitch. Is
it the third highest PlayStation trailer now? I think.
For the views, I think if you're looking at the YouTube views, yes, but I'm talking about like live viewers, concurrent viewers. This thing shattered records.
Oh my!
So they don't need E3 anymore. It's clear. Like you can do this, and you will do just fine. And you're going to save a lot of money in the process as well.
Yep.
Jose Monster says GTA 6 announcement August. I'm going to say the same thing I said last time. You will not see GTA 6 revealed anywhere but through Rockstar's like own volition. It'll be like an image they tweet out, or just a random trailer drops one day and it's GTA 6. Like you will not have GTA 6 premiere at Xbox or PlayStation. They don't need to do that. They don't need to clutter themselves in the array of other games that are going to be shown at these presentations. There's no reason for it. GTA stands alone. So no, you will not see GTA 6 in August at the PlayStation event. Will you see GTA 6 in August? Sure. Whatever. It could drop anytime, anywhere. They can drop it on a random Tuesday or a random Wednesday at 4:53 p.m. for no reason at all. It doesn't matter.
Rockstar does what it wants to do.
GTA 5, prior to it coming out on PS5 and Xbox Series X, is up at like 135 million units sold. With PS5 and Xbox Series X, this thing will pass 150 million units sold. I'm thinking it's probably the most successful game ever released.
Yep.
As far as that goes, as far as like sales numbers go, I don't think any game will match it. So yeah, they can do whatever the hell they want. Wasn't GTA 5 revealed at PlayStation during E3? No.
That was the remastered. And that was all that was. That was just an announcement of the remaster. They dropped a random GTA 5 trailer like on like a Tuesday.
Yeah, I remember that.
They just dropped it. And everyone was like, what just happened?
And Xbox made a big deal out of GTA 4 coming to Xbox, but it wasn't revealed at Xbox. It was more just like, I've got the GTA tattoo now, and GTA is coming to Xbox.
Who was that? I forget.
That was the guy who went to EA.
Yeah, because he did a Madden tattoo.
Yeah. So the GTA has been at Xbox, it's been at PlayStation, but it doesn't reveal itself at them.
No.
They reveal themselves on their own time. Anyway, I think that
Peter Moore, there it is.
Peter Moore, there it is. I think that about wraps up
that does
the PlayStation 5 reveal. We spent a lot longer on that than I thought we would.
A little bit.
So what did I put? I think I put 30 minutes. I put 30 minutes for that. Should have put an hour, 15, an hour and 15 for that. My God. But mate, that's the big thing this week, so it's all good. I thought it was a fantastic presentation. It was games, and they said it at the beginning. Jay Ryan said it. We're gonna let our games speak for themselves, and they weren't lying, man. Like there were a little bit of dev diary type moments dispersed in between there, dispersed, I should say. And I like that. I like that you got a little bit of something there, a little bit of talk from Insomniac, a little bit of talk from the Ember Labs guys, and a little bit of straight up gameplay too. Ratchet and Clank, Gran Turismo. I think there might have been one other one too that like straight up a gameplay uncut segment. But that was a great way to do it. It never lulled for me. It felt like it was moving the whole way through.
Yep. I was just sad we didn't see anything about Hideo Kojima. That was the only thing I was sad about. I was like, I need to see Kojima.
He could have, I bet you he probably could have thrown something together to represent an idea. But no, he doesn't need to. Why rush it? Let him come up with something that is going to be a little bit more mainstream.
Well, he's gonna do Silent Hill. Remember, he's gonna come out and surprise us all with that Silent Hill VR.
Maybe. I will say I hope he does something a little bit more mainstream this time than Death Stranding. Doesn't have to be like straight up mainstream, but something a little bit easier to digest, I think, would be nice from Hideo Kojima.
I think I want smaller titles from him.
That'd be cool.
I want him to kind of I want him to do that experimental gameplay, but I don't want him to do these big grand games anymore. Like Death Stranding was great. I loved it. It's one of my game of the years. I think he would do well, and his team would do well if they would break up their products into smaller experimental vessels, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah, I'm with you. Let's do some wheel spins here because we did get a lot of support right at the beginning of the stream and to follow that as well. Starting off with Diclonius Games. Let's go to the $5 wheel and give him a spin first. We've already had 13 minutes of extension. Don't forget, guys, subs, tips, and cheers, extended length of stream, and whatever we have left following the talk show, I will spend with Final Fantasy VII Remake, trying to make my way through hard mode, get that platinum before The Last of Us Part 2 releases. So I will appreciate you guys sticking around if you can and offering your moral support. But this one's for Diclonius Games, and we got 60 XP to the entire room. After that, we had a huge sub gift marathon happen from Jameis. So I'm just going to give you guys 75 to the entire room because I'm feeling generous, and I'm going to do a bigger wheel spin for Dirty Habanero. I do not have a dirty wheel right now. I need to figure out a new dirty wheel figure out some new stuff for a dirty wheel. So I'm just going to give a couple larger spins here. We're going to do 100 plus the marbles for funsies. I'll do that before 7R tonight. So 100 to the entire room. Way to go, room. After that, we had, let's see, King Kurt coming in with 2 years, his anniversary through Twitch Prime. Thank you so much, King Kurt, if you're still around. Really appreciate you, man. He's the one who made the bug happen. Let's not forget.
The water bug.
The water bug. I'm so glad I got that done. Oh, a $5 sub gift raffle. Okay, all right. Let me get that set up right now. We're going to do a giveaway. Guys, if you are not yet a sub, which you might be, we'll see what happens. If you are not yet a sub, type in !sub gift in the chat. 25 months, he says. Interesting. Type in !sub gift in the chat. Please, only if you are not yet a sub. Should you type in that command. Thank you so much, King Kurt. Let's see. Who we got after that? Crazy Legs coming in with 37 months. This one's for you. 70 XP. I'll make it a 75 again. After that, Henry DJP with a gifted sub. Way to go, man. LOL Brohaha being welcomed into the +1 posse, courtesy of Henry DJP. That's very generous, Henry. 60 XP. I'm going to do it again. 75. Giving you guys extra tonight. After that, we had... I'm going to give another spin to Derek. Or this is actually his first spin. Let's give a spin to Derek because he came in with a big raid tonight. 9 viewers. Everybody give Derek that follow. Coming in with support. Support those that support us. He's also one of our mods, of course. And finally, let's go to tier 2 wheel spin because Johnny Poolside came in with 56 months at tier 2.
Wow.
Adding 2 minutes onto that stream.
Way to go, Johnny.
Way to go, Johnny. Johnny, but I'm Johnny. And we got 175 to the entire room. Way to go, room.
Yay.
All right. And with that, I think we'll go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll get into the level update, talking about The Last of Us Part 2 and all of its insane reviews, some news about Xbox and some Lockhart rumors, WB Games rumors as well. It's a good level update coming your way. So hold on tight, the 9 Fox. We'll be back in approximately 90 seconds. Welcome back, level uppers, to the Level Up Show.
95.
What? It did it again.
20 PS5
What did
review.
There's something. Hear this. I'm gonna play out.
File.
Oh, let me.
Edit. View.
Oh, you know what
Insert.
it is? It's
Format.
Microsoft Edge.
Tools.
All right, so I switched over to Microsoft Edge recently, and I'm guessing one of the hotkeys I have set up for the return from commercial break is a read aloud hotkey within Microsoft Edge. Because this is the second time that's happened. Sorry about that, guys. Welcome back to the Level Up Show, episode 295. This is a gaming dedicated talk show on every Sunday, or most Sundays, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're enjoying the stream, hit that heart button here at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show. Turn on notifications. Make sure you get those alerts whenever I go live. I'm on Wednesdays and Sundays. Vince, put yourself in the chat real quick. Everybody give Vince that follow as well. Agent Vincent 4756. And I'm going to figure this out right now. I'm genuinely curious. I'm going to look into my... let me look into my Stream Deck here and see what is the button that gets pressed at the very end. There's got to be a hotkey. Control-Shift-U. Control-Shift-U. That's got to be what it is. Let's try this out.
Why is it so blurry? I don't know why it does that.
It's Control-Shift-U. Within Microsoft Edge is the read aloud. I guess whatever you have highlighted. Let me try this again. I want to see this. Now it's not reading though. It's saying at the top like read aloud, but it's not actually reading it. But that is what's doing it. It's Control-Shift U. So I wonder if there's a way for me to change that within Microsoft Edge so it doesn't do that. I'm sure there is. I'll turn that off. Stop doing it. It keeps trying to do it.
Stop doing it.
All right. Stop doing it, man.
Don't do it.
Anyway, welcome back again, everybody. Hit that follow button if you're enjoying the stream. We are about to head into our discussion of the week's biggest gaming industry news. It is called the Level Update. Also, before we get into the level update here, congratulations to Nate Dogg on winning that sub gift raffle. I'm going to give that to you right now before we even move on. We're about to talk about the review embargo that has lifted for The Last of Us Part 2. I've been saying this week, and probably the last 2 weeks, I've been saying I'm raising my prediction because these previews are insane. I was originally thinking it was going to be 92, 93, which would have been great obviously that's an amazing score either way.
Right.
But reading those previews, I was like 95. And then the Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday before the review embargo, this past Friday, I was like, I'm raising it even higher. This game is going to score a 96 on Metacritic. And what does it turn out, Vince? Exactly right. 96 on Metacritic and OpenCritic. Like, this is one of the best games of all time. This is in the top 50. I think it's in the top 40 highest rated games of all time on Metacritic. And that's actually even better than it seems, because a lot of these games in the top 40 are games that came out decades ago that only have like 10, 20, 30 reviews, whereas games nowadays have 80, 90, 100, 120 reviews. Much more of an opportunity for somebody to come in with that 3 out of 5, with that 5 out of 10. So it's much more impressive now to get a 96 than it would have been for BioShock, for example, which also has a 96, to get that back in, the 2000s. That's a much more impressive thing nowadays to get a 96. So this is huge. This is one of the greatest games ever made. Are you surprised, Vince?
No, I'm not surprised at all. Absolutely not surprised.
Even after all the haters, man, after all the leaks?
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you one thing right now. Most of those leaks, what happened, the thing that really sucked was that the ending was never leaked. Everyone got like the third act start was where everyone was left at. So there was no reason for anyone to be overreacting the way that they were for those leaks. Actually, honestly, it was a massive disappointment across the board from a lot of people that I saw on how they behaved and acted to developers and everything like that. It was ridiculous. So I'm actually glad the game did well. Good.
It's just like, honestly, I don't want to be petty, but it's like a suck it moment, Like suck it, haters.
No, I don't even care about it being petty. No, it's suck it, seriously, because it was so annoying, because especially the surface levels of what people were complaining about is just like,
birthday. Can a brother get a birthday?
You don't need to play the game, and you might just not be a nice person to begin with.
It's a possibility, Vince. You might not be a nice person. This is very true. Happy birthday to Kume. Coming in with his tier 1 sub, and it's his birthday. So yes, I will give you 2 spins during the next wheel spin segment. But I do want to read off a couple of these reviews real quick. Some blurbs, just to get you guys hyped. Because honestly, it's very hard not to pick a 10 out of 10 from this list. It's got literally like 60 10 out of 10s this game. Digital Trends gave it a 10 out of 10. They wrote, The Last of Us Part 2 is a gut punch in the best way. A tour de force that takes the best parts of the original and molds them into their finest forms. The story will leave you reeling, and there are several unexpected turns that will keep you invested throughout. The level of detail and quality in the world creation and story building are at the top of their class. Very nice. GameRank also gave it a 10 out of 10. They said, in the end, it really comes down to the experience of playing The Last of Us Part 2, of jumping into these characters' shoes and confronting a world that feels both foreign and oddly familiar. In that regard, the game is in a league of its own, and there are simply too many adjectives to describe the range of emotions that the game will make players feel, and many of those emotions are not positive ones. And he doesn't mean that in a negative way.
Yeah.
Guardian gave it a 10. They wrote, this is an unlikely comparison, but now that I've had some time to absorb The Last of Us Part 2, it reminds me thematically of The Shadow of the Colossus, another game about how consuming grief and anger can be. I was similarly polyaxed is the word he wrote here? I never even heard that word. Similarly polyaxed by the game's clever manipulation of the player's power, the way it also used the language of video games to make you think twice about your actions. The Last of Us Part 2 is another story that could only work as a game. The kind of challenging, groundbreaking work that only comes along 2 or 3 times a decade.
You got some high praise.
Yes. Push Square gave it a 10 out of 10. They wrote, The Last of Us Part 2 adds a couple more inches to the already outrageously high bar that Naughty Dog has set for itself. This is the developer's crowning achievement to date, expanding and improving upon the concepts that have been iterating on for over a decade now. Unparalleled presentation combines with an engaging gameplay loop that puts you in the shoes of its characters and forces you to feel all of the tension and misgivings of its cast. It's uncomfortable, and not everyone will necessarily enjoy its direction, but that's ultimately what makes it so essential. And finally, Eurogamer Italy gave it a 10 out of 10. They said it's useless to beat around the bush. The Last of Us Part 2 sets a new all-around quality standard for AAA video games. Balanced in all its elements, it's a game capable of amusing, disturbing, and making people think. This is not a game for everyone, for its genre and the topics covered, but it has the potential to easily reach and overcome the prequel in its role as a milestone in the evolution of this incredible, exceptional medium. My
Damn.
goodness.
Yeah.
And there are like literally another 50 reviews that read that way with that high of praise. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's absolutely crazy. Let me rewind a little bit here because I think we need to talk a little more about this. I'm going to keep with The Last of Us Part 2 on screen. What is your hype level at right now, Vince, for The Last of Us Part 2?
Oh, I'm going to love it. Everyone needs to understand.
You just know it.
Well, everyone needs to understand. I've been spoiled on the majority of the game. I know the major story beats that happen. And the thing was, even then, I was like, I cannot believe Naughty Dog is doing this. And the amount of animation, everyone knows me. I'm a tech guy. I love seeing presentation. The motion matching animation, this entire thing, that's gameplay. Like, that's not a vertical slice. That actually happens in the base game. That whole infamous...
Digital Foundry, I think they said it gets like 95% of the way there to that. They said like it's not quite as fluid, but that could honestly just be down to the guy that played it 30 times, 50 times to memorize it to such a way that he could time all of those motion moments to look more cinematic. It could really be as simple as that. When we play these games, it never looks as good as the vertical slices because we're playing it for the first time. It looks clumsy. It looks cumbersome because we're figuring it out as we go along. Whereas these vertical slices are played by a guy that played it 50 times, memorized it in and out,
practice
for the purpose of making it look as cinematic as possible. It's as simple as that. So it does, it does manipulate the viewer in a way. I understand people that feel like it's wrong. Personally, I don't care. It as long as the essence of the game is still there, the mechanics for the most part is still there. Like, I'm totally cool with it. And as they said on Digital Foundry, it's like 95% there. They pretty much achieved that insane PS5 quality at the time. It seemed like vertical slice. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I want to play it. I can't wait for Friday. And I mean, number one was an emotional experience for me too. So I just cannot believe what this game is probably going to do to me and do to a lot of people, to be honest. Because one thing, if you haven't really gotten the hint yet, is this game does not care about your perceptions of what these characters are going through. These characters are doing their own story. They're doing their own thing. They have their own agency and everything like that. And this game does go into some very, very dark places with humanity. And I think it's telling. It's really great.
Yeah, and exactly right, Farsender. Every game's going to have somebody, every game on Metacritic, I believe, has a 7 out of 10. Breath of the Wild has a 7 out of 10. I think Breath of the Wild actually has a 6 out of 10. They all, you're going to get 1 or 2. I think Last of Us Part 2 has 2 7s, maybe like 4 8s, and literally everything else is 9 and above, with, I would say, probably 75% of the scores being 10 out of 10. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the other thing too. Like, everyone knows here, I gave Red Dead Redemption 2 a 7 out of 10 when I got finished it. I don't think that game's as good as what everyone tries to make it out to be, but I don't know. I think it's going to be crazy to see this play out, and what's going to come from this, Are we going to get a Last of Us Part 3 from this, or is Naughty Dog going to move away from this, considering
we will talk about that later on, actually. That is an actual story tonight.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. You're foreshadowing. You're teasing.
Yeah, teasing
what's to come. I'm going to stream on Friday. Guys, I will be doing a, not launch stream. It won't be at midnight, but Friday night. I will be doing my stream. So it'll give you guys a little bit of time to play it yourselves, hopefully, and, get ahead of me by several hours so that I don't spoil anything for you. So I don't really want to do a launch stream for that game. For one, it'll probably lead to spoilers in the chat being even more likely. I'm probably going to do sub-only chat that night. Just so you guys know.
That's what we had talked about on my end, was like, if I was going to do Last of Us Part 1 as a replay, that week was going to be sub-only chat, just to not have people get spoiled.
You were going to be playing at night, which is good. Yeah, I'll be playing at night, and hopefully it'll give me a little bit of a distance from all those people that are jumping into the launch streams trying to mess things up. And, if somebody subs to spoil something, then I don't know what to do about it, honestly. I've got a lot of phrases, set up as as blacklisted to try and keep things from happening. Honestly, you're not allowed to say like Joel or Ellie in chat. So sorry guys if you do say that. It's just going to delete the message is all. It's not gonna, ban you or anything. But it will delete any message that has any misspelling really of Joel and Ellie that I could think of, and a bunch of other things too that I thought might be.
So here's a question: does your chatbot like delete like all the messages then? Like I had Nolan, I think he said Joel once. Okay, I was like, I don't think it's supposed to.
Yeah, that's the way Twitch works.
Okay. I just didn't
that's the way Twitch works. Unfortunately, when you time somebody out, it deletes their messages for a certain period of time.
That's weird.
Yeah. So like, if somebody were to accidentally post a link, for example, it would then delete that message and then like delete all their previous messages too. If there's a way to change that, somebody let me know. That's like a default Twitch setting, from what I understand. So, dang it, not a sub. Yeah, sorry, Wolf. Yeah, it's obviously for. I want to try and make sure that you guys don't get spoiled as well as me, but even more so you guys. I don't want you guys to get spoiled, so we're just gonna have to take some precautionary measures for a little while.
Dude, I wish you the best of luck with those streams, though.
Every big release in recent memory, like really big release, has had somebody come in on day one to try and spoil things.
Yeah.
Final 7 Remake had it. Kingdom Hearts 3 had it pretty recently. One other one too that I'm drawing a blank on. That was a big release. God of War. Guy came in to spoil the weapon. Spoiler. So yeah, it's annoying. Launch streams, just they bring out that, and there's not a ton you can do about it. Anyway, moving on. Let's get into. We were talking about Xbox. Vince was doing an amazing job teasing things for you guys with some Lockhart tease there. Vince, you can read this off. Go ahead.
Sorry. So the Xbox June event canceled or postponed. Lockhart reveal rumored for August. Jeff Grubb, who was kind of like the person that was kind of teasing all the PS5 infos, tweeted out a couple days ago, I think. Microsoft was planning to talk more about hardware this month. That would have included Lockhart. I didn't know exactly what the event blog would have looked like, but my understanding is more likely just a blog post. It moved to let this Thursday PlayStation event go first. Microsoft has already shown a lot of Xbox Series X, so it makes sense to let Sony take a turn. If a fanboy tries to use this as, say, Microsoft's scared, I would encourage you to ignore that and not be a fanboy return. It's just business.
I don't want to give anybody... I don't want to shame anybody. This is not at all what I'm doing here. But there's been a guy, really nice guy, that's been watching the 7 Remake streams, and he has he's got a strong love for Microsoft. I think he actually might even had a tie to Microsoft, or maybe his website that he has was more Xbox focused. So he's got a strong love for Xbox. And he was posting about how this month there was supposed to be something Xbox related that he thought would like steal Sony's thunder and all this kind of stuff. And I told him my opinion was they won't do it. There won't be anything Xbox related whatsoever on the week of the PS5 reveal, because there's nothing they can do right now that will overshadow PS5's reveal. They will just be overshadowed. And from a business perspective, it doesn't make sense to go into murky waters like that. And he was like, agree to disagree. I guess he thought there was something that Xbox could reveal that would be as big. And it seems like what was possible was Lockhart might have been planned for right around now, before PlayStation was, secured this date around now. Yeah. But yeah, if they were to reveal Lockhart right now, as cool as it might be, even if it was $300 and all this, it still would have been in murky water. It would have been in a conversation that was dominated by PlayStation that week. And that doesn't serve Microsoft in any way. Even if it was awesome, absolutely awesome, why put yourself in that range? Why not dominate your own week? And that's what's happening here. They're moving so that they can dominate their own week, and it's good business. Right. So yeah, they're not scared. It has nothing to do with being scared. No. It has to do with having the right strategy, honestly.
And it's adjusting.
Microsoft's been pretty good with that this year. Yeah, they've been pretty good with having the right strategy.
Yeah, they're just adjusting, for sure. Yeah.
Now, technically, if you believe Jeff Grubb, this confirms the not only existence of Lockhart, but the committal to releasing Lockhart.
Yeah, I mean, I believe Lockhart is real. I believe Lockhart has been real for a long time, and especially since we've gotten the double trip scoop between like Tom Warren and everything like that from Windows Central, I was like, it has to be a thing. The question was, is it launching day one, or is it coming at a later time, like Xbox?
So you think
Series?
It's releasing no matter what? Just a question of when?
Yeah, that's my thing, and I honestly think the PS5 digital version will force Microsoft for sure to get this out.
Yes, I think the reason I don't think that Series X is going to be $399 is because of Lockhart.
Yep.
It just doesn't make sense. How do you have a $399 Series X? And what's Lockhart going to be? Like a 4 terabyte version? Well, you can do that for $299? Like, what are you going to do for 200? Like, no, it gets too low, unrealistically low at that point. 500, 300, 500, 350? That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
That could do really well for them.
And that's where I'm saying I think the PlayStation 5 digital version sort of threw everyone off a little bit there. So now Microsoft
everybody was surprised by that. Isn't that kind of crazy though?
Yeah.
That none of us actually thought that would happen. Why did nobody ever put that out there? I haven't seen a single person. I'm on the internet a lot. I'm on gaming forums a lot. And I swear to God, I didn't see a single person ever put out there that Sony would have a non-physical version of
there was always
PS5.
there was always the rumor of 2 SKUs. But everyone just assumed it was, one's going to be 1 terabyte and the other one's going to be 2 terabytes.
Right,
No one thought it was going to be, one's just not going to have a disc tray.
It's just crazy that none of us thought that might happen.
Yeah.
And it did, and we were all taken aback by it. But here's the thing, I feel like if it is $399, it's hard to sell Lockhart at $350 for sure.
Yeah, your Lockhart would have to come down to $299. I think
it really has to be $299 to be competitive with a $399 PS5, which is so much more powerful and doing a lot of unique things.
And then you also deal with the whole what happens with the Xbox One X or the Xbox One S. What happens with that price point? Do you just get rid of that? And sorry, I keep foreshadowing. I was like, and what Phil doesn't really fill me with confidence there on that part because
let's just jump right to it. Phil Spencer was talking about the trajectory for the year and their plans and their strategy. And he said something that some people are sort of looking at as the Don metric. Like, you can, if you don't have an online connection, you can play on Xbox. 360. I disagree with that entirely. What Phil Spencer said was, if this is not the year to buy a new Xbox, that's okay. And that's paraphrasing. Let's get into the full quote here. We see the impact of people getting furloughed and layoffs. It's tough. And we are a leisure activity. We are not a requirement. We're not food. We're not shelter. So we want to be really tuned into that as we launch. How can we make it as affordable as possible? How can we give buyers choice? We've got an Xbox All Access subscription program that allows people to buy their next console by paying a monthly charge. And if now is not the time for you to buy a new console, and you're going to stay with the console you have, we're going to keep supporting that console. And through technologies like Smart Delivery, you can buy your games and know that when you buy the next console, your games will move with you to allow consumers to make the choice that's right for them. So he's trying to phrase it in a pro-consumer, we're not going to leave the last generation behind kind of way. Some people are trying to read further into it and say, oh, they're scared. They know they can't beat PlayStation and they're already making up excuses. And
I hate that because that's not what Microsoft is going for anymore. And that's the thing that is kind of weird now. We have 2 different companies doing 2 different business models now. You have PlayStation doing the typical generational leap that is letting things and other technologies move forward. Microsoft's moving to more of a service platform. The Xbox is a service brand. Doesn't matter what you get it on, you're going to be playing Xbox games. And I don't know. I just feel like from what I'm reading with Phil there, he's saying, we need to have affordable price points and everything like that. So we have an Xbox All Access program. If you want to buy the premium console, is how I see that. Or we'll also have another lower end console that will be cheaper for you to buy. And that's going to be more digital because that's going to get you on the Game Pass, which is going to make us get more money for that. That's what they're going to do. They want to push services to the consumer, not hardware, really. The hardware is theirs for the enthusiast. They want the Game Pass and Xbox Live Ultimate.
Right, exactly. But that does lead to some discomfort for people reading this. Even you said a lack of confidence potentially in the price point, because are they putting this out there ahead of time preemptively to sort of prepare stockholders or this or that, the shareholders to know, this thing might be a little more expensive and we're not expecting this year maybe to be the big year. Maybe it's even, maybe Series X is even $600.
Do you think that you could do a console like that for $599? Do you think that gives you the right value for that console? Like that's the weird thing.
I think
like,
Series X at 600 is still a pretty good value myself.
Okay, no, that's a good question because like I have another friend who was like, I think that's almost too expensive for me because like at that point you're getting the PC territory. So why don't you just go buy a PC?
I disagree with that. I mean, God,
Okay.
GPUs of similar quality are that alone.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But like they're saying like you're still going to get a very comparable thing for that. It's like you pay a little bit more and you're getting a comparable computer. And that's the thing that I'm wondering. So I was like, I don't really see Microsoft pushing $599 as more as like $549. That's kind of where I think they're going to sit at. Does that make sense?
I think that's definitely possible. Yeah.
Because I don't know. I just feel like, especially now with COVID, asking $600 is maybe just a little too much. I think maybe that's just me overthinking.
It might be this year, but that doesn't mean they won't do it because this year is just the first year in the battle. And it's not like it used to be where first to 10 million wins. It's just, it's not those days anymore. Services are incredibly important for one, and it's just a different time. So I do think that PlayStation or Xbox could release at a higher price this year, knowing that enthusiasts will maybe still buy up all the stock, especially if it's limited stock. And then next year it will be their big year and they could drop it down a little bit and such, you know. I think that's still a viable strategy. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I feel like the $5.99 US thing, I don't know why people make such a big deal out of it still. It was literally 14 years ago, 15 years ago, actually. If I think, no, it was 2006. It was, 2005 was the reveal and 2006 was the price reveal. So 14 years ago, you know how much inflation occurs over the course of 14 years? Yeah, like you're getting to that point now, you know, something's got to give. Prices go up, you know?
No, I get you. I just...
So, God's sakes, we still have $60 games after all this time. They really, if you go by inflation, games should be more expensive now. But they're not doing it. So, I feel like we're a little greedy, honestly. Especially considering now we have even more variation. We've got games coming out for 20, 30, 40 free to play. It's like, God, things are pretty good right now. We got amazing services like Game Pass, PS Plus, games being given out for free, nonstop Steam sales for games for $5, $1, $1.33. You know, like,
yeah, I get you.
We got it pretty good. Like, so I don't understand why gamers who are in a medium that is unbelievably fucking expensive are complaining about prices going up a little bit.
Thank you. Like, and that's one thing. Yeah, it's tough. I hate how games have been kind of like devalued almost in a way to where like you have to deal with this whole thing of like people want all these games on one service and you want these companies to be doing this and giving you your console for $200 because, you know, they don't need that. They have all this money. It's like, stuff is expensive, you know? It's, I don't like it.
I think you were talking about Game Pass, especially being something that's sort of devaluing, and that's not anything against Game Pass, but it is doing that. It is resulting in you're seeing more and more people saying like, I'm not going to buy this game. I'm going to wait to get it for free on Game Pass. And it might not even ever come, and then by that point it's too late, and they missed out on the game. And people just want everything for free now.
And it's like the one thing, like I love, like Game Pass, I have yet to find its value, to be honest. And I think I would find more value in Game Pass if it was strictly just Microsoft's first party, especially if their first party fruits, you know, I guess all their labors yield to all these really great things with all the studios that they purchase and everything like that. But having just like a third party game like thing, I was just like, this can't be. I don't know. I have yet to really find the value on it. I want to cancel mine already again. I got it for Minecraft Dungeons, and I don't have any need for it. And at the same time, when you see people who are just like, yeah, I'm not going to play this until on Game Pass, I'm just like, I don't understand that.
Yeah, like, it's a little frustrating. I do
it for Ubisoft because the thing is, I'm someone who buys Ubisoft games. I've bought every single Ubisoft games generation except for maybe 3. And so for $14.99 on my PC, yeah, that makes sense. But I also know it's not going across 200 some odd games. You know, I don't know. It's weird. That's a weird segue. We just
King Kurt. I bought my PS3 for $800, if I remember right. I got it on eBay for $800. No regrets at all. I love that console. Had its early years that weren't fantastic, but I still got a lot of use even out of the early years. You know, Uncharted and even Heavenly Sword and shit. I enjoyed those games. Killzone.
I'm sorry, I love the PS3. I know everyone has
PS3 is a great console.
This really terrible like hindsight with it now, but I was like,
Yeah. Usually people that have like a bad memory of it are ones that are very like online gamers, because its online wasn't as strong as Microsoft's, without a doubt. Xbox Live was much stronger at that time. But I've never been much of an online gamer. So being somebody that's a narrative driven guy, yeah, PS3 had a ton of those from the very beginning. So I always liked PS3. I mean, Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots was like, that game blew my mind at the time.
That was
Even
the
Final
game
Fantasy
that
13 I really enjoyed, you know.
wasn't Guns of the Patriots like the game that kind of started shifting the momentum back in like the whole like Xbox.
It was around that time because the price dropped as well around that time, if I remember right. And the month that Metal Gear Solid 4 released was huge NPD wise for PS4.
And did the DualShock 3 actually reveal then too, or like didn't they re-release it like right before that too? Like that was like a big.
Yeah, I don't remember that much detail, but you are right that was a big moment. That was a big spike for PS3 when Metal Gear Solid 4 came out, without a doubt. I mean, now looking back at PS3, yeah, it's blurry, but at that time it was 100% fine. I had no problems with 720p at that time.
Farce is comparing it to PC, which yes, that would be a big detriment. Like I think we just talked about it last night too. Red Dead Redemption was rendering at like 1123 by like 640 or something like that for the PS3 version.
I remember Resistance 3 was even lower than that. I think Resistance 3 was in the 500s.
Okay, so Resistance would have been the 540. Would have been the 540p title I was remembering. Yeah. Because I was remembering, then they had a software upscaling that would do the 720p image, and that was your Quisix or Quisinix AA anti-aliasing that gave everything that Vaseline look to it.
Well, I mean, that's a perfect example because Resistance 3 was one of the best first-person shooters of that entire generation, in my opinion. From a story standpoint, narrative-driven standpoint, BioShock is really the only one I can think of, the two BioShock games that beat Resistance 3 in its single-player campaign. That's my opinion. So, yeah, who do I care if it's 540p? I don't know. At that time, it didn't matter that much to me. But, yeah, whatever. Each their own.
Yeah.
Where were we even at? I forget. We were talking about Xbox, right? So it was voted by the chat that they said 5 people, not this year, maybe next, was the vote from the chat.
Cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, this year for me is definitely the PS5 year. I don't know that I'll ever get an Xbox because of them putting everything on PC, but maybe something changes. I don't know. Maybe they'll do something that really impresses me that can only be appreciated with the console itself.
Or they just drop the other foot and just change everything up again.
And not put it on PC anymore, yeah.
Yeah.
They could certainly do that, but oh man, would they get some backlash if they did that.
I mean, we all know it's inevitable. Something's coming along that line. It's just.
Do you think they're eventually going to start doing console exclusives again?
It's not even console exclusives. On console? I just think the other shoe with Game Pass will drop at some point, whether it's a huge spike in the premium cost of it or if it's going to be a separate catalog for both environments. I don't know. Something's going to drop, and that's also another thing too. It's just how I feel. I could be I could be crazy. I just feel like Microsoft always seems to do that. They do something really great, and then like 2 or 3 or 4 years later, the shoe drops and something else completely flips on it. So,
well, I mean, here's the thing. Game Pass still, in my opinion, from an economic standpoint, does not make sense. It just doesn't make sense. They are leaving so much money on the table. If it doesn't result in subscription numbers skyrocketing and staying at those high numbers when it is $15 a month for everybody, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't happen, if they put all this into it and they see that people do duck out the moment the price goes up to 15, or that they subscribe for a month just to get a game and then back out like I did for Ori, they're going to lose a lot of money and they will have no choice but to say, we've got to adjust.
And then the other thing too that I always kind of find interesting, like whenever Red Dead Redemption came on Game Pass, or like they took Grand Theft Auto 5 and everything like that, I always wondered like what agreements are there? Like, is it like a lump sum that Microsoft paid Rockstar? Or is there other things like that saying, hey, we're going to waive the fee of all our microtransactions so we don't take a single cut from any microtransactions from this 3-month period that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder if there's things built in to make Game Pass profitable at certain different levels for certain different engagements. And I wish they were just more transparent about it. Because, I mean, I think it's great that you could buy the games off Game Pass for sure for a 20% discount. I think it's great. I think that's something that Sony needs to match with PlayStation Plus. I actually honestly think that's something that they need. That's a perk they need to match.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I just still think that the other shoe is going to drop with Game Pass, and I think it's going to be messy. But maybe I'm just crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
just to give an example here, like I'm screwing Xbox out of so much money, and I shouldn't say it that way because they've got to know this is happening. But I tested Outer Wilds, I should say, to see if there was any chance I would like it for free because Discord had it. Played Gears of War for free, to see if I would like it. My subscription expired. I didn't renew it. I waited until Ori came out. I subscribed for $1. Played Ori. Canceled my subscription. Yeah. So I played hours of Outer Wilds. Realized it wasn't for me. Played hours of Gears of War. Realized it wasn't for me. Played Ori. Loved it for $1. And that's all they got. They got $1 out of me.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
So I mean, like, it's just even more funny to think about. So, like, with Halo Infinite on the rise, do we not think that microtransactions are not going to be a huge thing for that game? Especially if it's on Game Pass and it's considering the rumor is it's one of the most expensive games ever made or close to it.
Yeah, it's a great question. See? I think the other question is, like, how many people are doing it the way I'm doing it?
Right.
Are people being diligent in the way I am to make sure that they aren't giving more money than they need to? Or are people forgetting that they subscribed, letting it go on, and then they're losing $5 and then they're losing $15 a month, and it just keeps going on even though they're not playing games? Like, how many people are, I don't want to be rude to those people. I don't want to call them lazy or anything, but I don't know. Whatever you want to call them. How many people are like that? And are they banking on those people?
Yeah, I mean, they could be. I mean, but there's also people who sit there and, I don't want to say brag, but they say, I blocked in for 24 months on Game Pass for $1. It's like,
yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, yeah, you should brag about that. You're getting a ton of content for $1.
But think about those people. 2 years. 2 years they are paying $1. It's $24 in total that Microsoft is getting from that person from that subscription. It's strange. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we're
yeah. When I subscribe to Xbox, I literally like put in my phone a reminder like one day before. It's like unsubscribe from Xbox Game Pass. Like I put it in my phone to alert me to unsubscribe because I'm not going to give them any more money than I need to. And I don't feel bad about that. I'm sorry. Like, you guys are allowing this to happen. Like, so, I mean, it's awesome. Thank you. That's all I guess I can say is thank you. It's really great service.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great service. I've yet to see the value in it and what it's going to do. And I guess I'm more worried about
the value from their perspective. You mean? Because from our perspective, there's a lot of value if you're getting it for $1.
Yeah, I get, but like, see, for me, I don't have any desire to play any of the games that are on Game Pass.
Oh, okay.
I played one game, So like in reality, like I spent like $5 on PC Game Pass to play Minecraft Dungeons. Minecraft Dungeons was $20. So, whatever. It's one of those things. I don't know, but like I want to play Sea of Thieves. I actually own Sea of Thieves. I actually bought Sea of Thieves. Like I supported Rare with a $60 purchase.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's weird.
Here's another thing to think about is the rumors of Halo Infinite's budget are extravagant.
They have
$500 million.
They have to
and
be,
I
right?
have to imagine that has to include what they're expecting to lose through Game Pass.
Oh, you think?
I hope.
Game Pass?
Because think about it. This thing is a launch title. And I can bet you that they're going to have a 1-month card in there with Xbox Series X for Game Pass. And Halo Infinite is launching with the console. Every single person that gets Xbox Series X is going to have a month of Game Pass, and they're going to have Halo Infinite. That is potentially 5 to 10 million people that are not buying Halo Infinite that probably would have bought Halo Infinite because it's the launch title of Xbox Series X. It is the premier Breath of the Wild title of Xbox Series X, and those 5 to 10 million people are not spending $60. They are spending nothing. They're not even spending $1. They're spending nothing to play your game for a month.
Yeah.
Like, how much money are they losing on that?
That's where I think they're going to have to make the money back from microtransactions. I mean, they have to, or that's whenever they're going to have to do it. Like, I would even think they almost ask 3 months, because then you have people who would forget, that's going to happen. I don't know. I don't know. And I just wish
it's a long
knew
con,
more.
really.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in there they're duping us, but it's a long play. And they clearly are putting a lot of money into this and a lot of faith into this, because they have to be losing a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a really weird segue we just did, but I mean,
we talk about Phil Spencer and saying it's not okay to buy an Xbox this year. It kind of works. It all segues into each other. That's what the show's all about. Let's finish this off with the final story of the level update. Take it away, Vince.
Yeah, so this is a weird one, guys. This is strange. Warner Brother Games for sale. Games Matra? I can't read today.
Gama Sutra.
Thank you.
It's like Kama Sutra, but Gama Sutra. Gama Sutra?
Shut up. CNBC is reporting that AT&T, the parent company of the both global telecom firm and multimedia entertainment arm of Warner Brothers, HBO, etc., is looking to sell off Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment to the tune of about $4 billion. That's a lot of money.
Well, they've got a lot of studios.
If you've forgotten just how big the video game arm is, you wouldn't be blamed. The entire video game division of Warner Brothers includes Rocksteady, NetherRealm Studios, WB Games Montreal, Monolith Entertainment, and Fifth Cell, the developer of Scribblenauts. In the last decade, these developers have been largely focused on developing games based on the Warner Brothers-owned intellectual property. The makers of the Arkham series, the Middle-earth games, and other WB-based titles will be caught up in this sale. Seeing AT&T attempt to sell these developers is particularly surprising turn of events, considering how wildly successful all the listed franchises have been. According to CNBC, Take-Two Interactive, EA Games, and Activision Blizzard have all expressed interest.
Interesting.
Of the above franchises, NetherRealm's Mortal Kombat games represent the largest game-first property of the bunch. The rest are obviously adapted from properties that AT&T either owns or has exclusive rights to. It's not clear if this deal would allow or require the studios to keep working on those franchises, which include DC Comics, Harry Potter, and Game of Thrones, or if the sale would mean they'd be working on non-WB focused efforts. If the sale goes through, it probably does change the odds that anyone will adapt a video game out of Friends, at least. So a little side note here. So apparently, what's that dude that we always quote? Zhuge. Thank you. He said his sources were telling him that if the studio was sold that was working on a Warner Brothers IP, they would still be allowed to work on that IP for the continuation of whatever project they were sold at. Then once that project was done, then they would not be able to do anything. That's what he said. So like if the Harry Potter studio was sold and they wanted to keep making the Harry Potter game, that studio, whoever bought that, would be allowed to continue that project and sell that project. But after that, you'd have to renegotiate anything like that. That's what his sources said.
That's good, at least.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat.
I mean, $4 billion is a huge acquisition.
It's a lot.
That's as much as Microsoft spent for Minecraft, if I remember right, with Mojang Games.
Very close
with
to
Mojang. Now that turned out to be quite fruitful for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's huge. Take-Two, EA Games, Activision Blizzard. It makes sense that those ones are brought up because they could afford it. Microsoft could afford it, I would imagine. Sony, I think, would have a tough time, I think, with that. I don't know if they could handle it. But I mean, God, if Microsoft were to really go after this, that could be
I don't think
huge.
they will.
I don't think they will either.
I think what's going to happen, here's the thing. I think everyone's seeing it as like the big, like, Take-Two buys Warner Brothers Games Interactive, and they buy all those developers. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be Take-Two is going to take, NetherRealm Studios, and they're going to have Mortal Kombat add to their thing. EA might steal Monolith Entertainment. Sony
Didn't that happen with like THQ or something where they sort of like dissolved it? And
so they tried to do like a big sale, and everyone was all like, well, we only want like one or two things. And then people bought those studios, and then somehow things got back together. It's weird. So I don't know. I think this is crazy. Like I talked a little bit to Mike about it today, just for a very brief moment. And I was like, it makes me wonder what's going on over there. If this is to be believed, like you have apparently a really big new Batman game being heavily rumored and a Harry Potter game being heavily rumored. And this is happening.
And is that
Wow,
maybe
this
a
is
reason
happening.
why it wasn't at the PlayStation reveal event?
Yeah.
Is that it wasn't maybe planned to be there? Is that a possibility? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we have apparently heard that Sony did pull some stuff from from the show.
Yep.
Here's my thing. Do you think that? Okay, let me ask you this question. Why do you think AT&T, who just spent all this time acquiring this whole thing, why do you think they would sell off the interactive entertainment aspect on it? Like, what would be your reasoning or logic behind that?
J.K. Rowling. I don't know. She's poisoned the well. I honestly, I do not know. It doesn't really make sense to me.
I think milestones had to have been missed a lot the last couple.
I mean, they have been, I would imagine. There's no way that WB Games should have taken this long after Arkham Origins to release another title. Even Rocksteady as well with Arkham Knight, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Arkham Knight was 2015, right? Yeah, I think so. 2015.
I think it might have even been 2014.
Would have been 14?
I think it might have even been 2014, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Let me check. Oh! Thank you.
But then, like, Origins was 2010.
No, it was 2015. It was June 2015. You're right.
That's what I thought. Because it was supposed to be 2014 and they got delayed.
You're right. Yep. You're right.
And then, what was Origins? Was Origins 2010 or was that 2012?
Hold on.
I can't remember that one. That was October. That was an October release. I know that much. Which is weird because they did.
Arkham Origins was 2013, actually.
2013.
So it was right before the next gen launched. Okay. So, I mean, yeah. WB Games, that specific team, Montreal, has not released a game since that. That's crazy.
Well, wait a minute. Who did Who did Middle Earth?
Shadow of Mordor. That was yeah, that wasn't the WB Games Montreal. God, can't say that.
That wasn't them.
The Shadow of Mordor was.
Sorry, I don't mean to have you look up this stuff.
No, hold on. It's important information. Monolith Productions.
Okay, so Monolith. Ooh, so Monolith would be like a Microsoft acquisition because of the Nemesis system and the AI base. That's what I think that would be. That would fit more in a Microsoft acquisition. Same thing with like Sony. That's where those guys do really well with. But wow, so they just released not Shadow of Mordor, but War for Mordor or whatever it was.
God, what was it called?
It's
Shadow of War?
Shadow of War, yeah, it was the title. They just did that, and that was 2017, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're probably right. It probably is related to that. Maybe a little bit of J.K. Rowling.
Just, I love how we were just like, it's all J.K. Rowling. It's all her fault.
She has destroyed WB Interactive. It's all J.K. Rowling's fault.
Slowly, brick by brick, board by board, dismantling Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's honestly a real bummer. And I do feel real bad for those people working on the new Harry Potter game right now.
Oh my God, it has to.
Do you think there's any like inkling there to just cancel it if it continues to be destroyed, the franchise?
I mean, it sucks, right? I almost think that they would have to go back in and develop characters kind of in spite of, to kind of jump back on, like, not the political correctness train, but like, to actually be like, no, listen, we don't, this universe is not the creator. She's just being the creator. Just ignore her. We're playing, I would think they have to do that almost. They would almost have to do that and have like good representation there. So people could be like, okay, yeah, this universe, this franchise is not abandoning me, and the creator's views on it doesn't really matter. That's what you got to do, I think. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense.
I mean, it's possible. I'm sure they got time. They're going to wait it out a little bit because this game is probably still a little ways away. But she needs to just shut her mouth. Just stop talking. Just stop talking. Oh my God.
I just don't understand it, dude. It's just like, ugh.
The Rock coming in with the 1666 scare tip, adding 8 minutes and 30 seconds onto the stream timer. Thank you so much, The Rock. I appreciate that. Give me a little more time with 7 Remake after the talk show ends here. And we do have a little bit left in the talk show. We're going to do some wheel spins right now. Then we'll do another sip gift.
Sorry.
The poll was Sony won in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Not surprised. We have a pretty Sony-centric community. And, I mean, for greedy reasons, I would want Sony to get it.
I would want Rocksteady to go to Sony. That would be my greedy thing. That's what I would want.
If you were like splitting it up, I think that would be really cool to just like pick and choose which ones would go. That's almost another conversation entirely.
That is.
Yeah, I agree. Rocksteady to Sony makes a pretty good amount of sense. Although it's like they have Spider-Man and they have Batman. Although that wouldn't continue
Rocksteady
that way.
wouldn't be doing Batman. They'd be doing their own things again.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I think people like really want Microsoft to get their superhero.
Well,
they don't have one yet.
I mean, yeah, I guess that would make sense.
From Marvel, especially, right? Because
right,
Marvel with Spider-Man, then Ultimate Alliance with Nintendo. Like, what are they? They've got to be doing something for Microsoft, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it just depends on what's going on. I mean, we have Avengers going on for everyone. I guess who would really fit? I mean, and there's the rumored Daredevil VR game that's happening. So I don't know what's going on there.
That can't be Microsoft, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, we have Iron Man VR.
So it's again like Sony. Like Sony's getting all these Marvel things, and Nintendo got one.
But see, I think
whereas Xbox's exclusive one.
I think Microsoft. I hate saying this, Swigs. I do not mean this in a very negative way or bad way. Microsoft still needs to kind of prove themselves with the narrative games. They've been very focused on multiplayer games, and I think Gears of War 5 was probably like their best push for it yet. And Ori, don't get me wrong, but I think they need to have some more single-player titles, which Hellblade 2 will help with.
That's not necessarily true, though. There's got to be a Marvel property that would be very well suited for the multiplayer space.
I mean, we're doing Avengers as Destiny, so I mean...
that's everywhere. Everybody's getting that. And that makes sense. It's Avengers. You can't do Avengers on one console.
The only thing I can think of would be like a S.H.I.E.L.D. game. Like, almost like an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. type deal. But even then, you're not doing any of the basic heroes. Yeah, I don't
Captain
know.
America. That makes a little bit of sense, honestly. It's very America. It's America-centric console, the Xbox. So.
War Machine.
Captain America. War Machine, yeah. Anyway, let's do some spins here. This one first is for Nate Dogg, who I gifted a sub. Congratulations. 80 XP to the entire room. Way to go, room.
That's actually a good point. 9 Fox had. X-Men. 9 Fox said. That would make sense.
Yeah. You can do a multiplayer-focused X-Men game.
Could do. Like a
75 XP to the entire room for Akume. Thank you so much, Akume. That was for his resub. Oh, and I'm going to give him a second spin, too, for your birthday. Happy birthday, man. Somebody type in exclamation point birthday in the chat. Or it might be happy birthday. Is it happy birthday? Or birthday? I can't remember. Try them both, somebody. So we had 75. Did I give that one? And I missed that. What was the second spin?
Farce.
90. We'll do 90. I'll do 100. So it's not birthday. It's happy birthday. Somebody do happy birthday. After that, we have Wolf Yee, who I gifted a sub to. Or, Derek gifted a sub to. And we've got 95. I'll do 100 again. And then we had Drop.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
That one's for you, Akume. Nolan gifted a sub by Duroc. And it's 50 XP to the entire room. And finally, Duroc himself getting 2 spins because he did a 1666 scare tip. We're going to do 60 plus 75. That's 135. I'll do 150. Let's round it up for you. I love Sony exclusives, but nothing in the world would stop me from playing a Superman game. Yeah, God. That's hilarious. Far Center would be like out the door to get a Nintendo console for
oh my god,
yeah,
Farce. What happened if they only did a Superman game for the Switch? Would you buy a Switch then? I'm sorry if I'm loud.
Yes. The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
He doesn't even need to respond. The answer is yes. We're gonna do another Sib gift giveaway on my end for you guys. Also, we've had to hit the oh god, we shattered it. 15 subs tonight. Holy shit, I didn't realize it was that high. Let's go to the high points wheel. Thank you so much, everybody. A lot of support tonight. And we're on our way to our daily tip goal. Let's get some more follows tonight. Anybody in the room that's new, please hit that follow button here at twitch.tv/levelupshow. Turn on notifications. Make sure you get alerts whenever I go live. Wednesdays and Sundays. Variety gaming and talk shows. And this one is 800 to the entire room, courtesy of that daily sub goal being smashed. Points, ad, plus viewers, 800. All right, I'm going to start another sub gift giveaway. What just happened? I think biddies? Was that biddies? 150 from Duroc with the biddies. Thank you so much. Let's add 45 seconds onto the stream timer for that. Let's keep them coming. And the sub gift giveaway begins now. Type in ! sub gift in the chat if you are not yet a sub. All right. And let's go to a quick commercial break. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick, so let's make this a little longer. Jersey Tom, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. Hold on tight. We'll be back in approximately 2 minutes. Welcome back, Level Uppers, to the Level Up Show, episode 295. There's a gaming dedicated talk show on every Sunday, or most Sundays, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're enjoying the show, hit that heart button here at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show. Turn on notifications. Make sure you get those alerts whenever I go live Wednesdays and Sundays with either variety gaming or talk shows. Apologies that I'm out of breath. I literally ran to the bathroom. Because I realized after I started a commercial break that it was going to do the voice read again through Microsoft Edge. So I had to shut down Edge and open up Chrome instead and like load up the Google Doc real quick. And then I was like, oh my God, I got to go to the bathroom still. So I ran. And that was quick. That was real quick, wasn't I, Vince?
You were very quick.
Yeah, I think it might be a record. I'm going to start keeping track of that. Also give Vince that follow, please. Agent Vincent 4756. Put himself in the chat for you guys so you can click on his name and do it that way. Hello. What's submissive? Is that an audio hook that I don't know about?
I don't know. I was kind of concerned by it for a second. I was like, that's weird. It's a very suggestive audio hook.
Who got in on that sub gift? Anybody? Just one person, Daredevil. Anybody else not yet a sub? Farsender, you're not yet a sub. So type in ! sub gift, man. Get in there. Everybody who's not yet a sub, type in ! sub gift in the chats before we move on here. And let's get that started. Guys, we got those small stories that we got to go through at the end of every show. In a little segment, we hear like the call. Rapid fire news roundup. Every time. First up in the rapid fire news roundup. Oh, shit. I kept the level update in there, didn't I? We got the Xbox Series X dashboard information. So it's not going to be any different than the next update, right? Is what they're saying. This next update, which hasn't released yet, right? There's still an update to come?
There's still an update to come, yes.
Yes. So I don't know who posted about this exactly, but it says, I can confirm the Xbox Series X dashboard will be the same as the Xbox One. Microsoft is adding some additional stuff in the console features, but the UI and the dash will be the same. Speed and performance will also be improved. So as you were saying earlier, it's kind of nice that PS5 is going to not just have like a fresh coat of paint. It's going to be like, this is fresh. This is new. Like, this is unique. I can't get this outside PS5. And it kind of, again, goes along with the difference in strategy and mentality of different generations. And Jim Ryan brought that up during the PS5 reveal, that they believe in console generations. And this kind of just furthers that, whereas Xbox is all about that continuation, about that pro-consumerism, as I think they would like to call it, where everybody's on the same page. Everybody's on the same state. So that's cool. I don't know that I care one way or the other. I'll admit I'm more excited for PS5s because of the fact that, like, I know PS4 and I'm excited to see something completely different. I like PS4. Don't get me wrong. I think PS4 is very simple, very quick, gets a job done, but there's definitely some ways to spice that up a little bit with some visual flair while keeping the simplicity in the background intact. And there's some of the rumors we've heard on what they're adding to this, the patents and whatnot for PS4. I'm excited for PS5. I'm pretty excited about. Neil Druckmann is undecided on his next game. He actually brought up either The Last of Us Part 3 for a new IP. I was really surprised at this. As part of a lengthy GQ feature on the making of the PS4 exclusive, the Naughty Dog vice president discussed what might be next in line for the studio. As you start wrapping things up, he said, creatively, there are fewer and fewer responsibilities, and my mind can't help but think about the next thing. So yeah, the next thing could be a part 3. The next thing could be a new IP. During a retro replay video published in February, Druckmann said Naughty Dog hasn't ruled out making another Uncharted game in the future. Quote, we're lucky in that we have the freedom that Sony gives us where we can choose. We made Uncharted 4 and we haven't made another Uncharted since. Maybe one day we will see. I got a poll for you guys in the chat. What would you like, specifically, the Neil Druckmann-led team at Naughty Dog, because who knows, maybe they're going to have 2 teams or something like that moving forward. What would you like the Neil Druckmann-directed game to be from them? What about you, Vince? What would you like?
Honestly, a new IP and something small scale.
Yeah?
I'm all about, like, right now with this next generation coming in and everything like that. I don't want these big grandiose projects, even though I know people love that. I want developers to have more, because we've had this big discussion about crunch culture, right? Well, I can't help but wonder if maybe we did smaller projects that were still sold for profit, but you could do feature building from there, and you can keep doing smaller iterative steps there, and then you do your big project after you learn you get like a lot of technology developed. I don't know. I think that might be something like that. So I haven't seen a new IP, but if they also give me Last of Us Part 3, I will take that as well.
That Agent
Oh, yeah.
Vincent guy, total nerd.
Well, first off, Kiko came in
Smile.
here saying that Agent Vincent guy, total nerd.
Get out of here, Kiko.
You know Kiko?
Yeah, I know
Kiko's a
him.
good guy.
He is a
How
good
you doing,
guy.
Kiko? Thank you for that resub. Really appreciate it. 38 months now from you. That's amazing.
That is
I want a new
insane.
IP. Honestly, I can't believe they even said anything about a part 3. I don't know why, but I just assumed like this is the end of The Last of Us. Like, I can't imagine they would keep going with this franchise, especially after finishing Last of Us Part 2, which is this grueling, just draining experience for the player. I can't even imagine what developing that was like. To think to go on to another one right after that, oh my god, no way, no.
Did you hear about some of the playtesting things that happened during Part 2? Did you read anything about that?
Not specific things. I've read like general like feelings about.
Yeah. So apparently, like at one point with playtesting, because they Naughty Dog kept tuning Part 2 so finely with like player reactions and whatnot. So I guess one of the scariest things for the playtesters was to see Neil Druckmann just staring at his office, just scanning people and seeing how they were.
I think I read that they recorded them, like actually like,
record
video
that.
recordings of their faces.
They did video recordings. They had an entire booth set up of all these monitors set up with everyone's faces, so they could watch. That's incredible to me.
Moment by moment to see like what they were reacting to or what they weren't reacting to, and then thinking, whoa, there should have been something there. There should have been some type of facial expression made at that. So we got to do something different here.
So
kind of crazy.
It is.
Ikumi Nakamura intends to pitch a new Okami game to Capcom. Ikumi Nakamura was the adorable presenter of Ghostwire Tokyo at the Bethesda conference. Quote here, regarding Okami, that's actually the project she wants to make a reality the most. As long as she goes after it, she has a feeling the chances are pretty high that it might become a reality. After quarantine is over and the world becomes normal again, she's planning to make a visit to Capcom and propose the idea. But for her, the most important thing is that if it would happen, she wants Kamiya-san to direct it again. Nakamura also feels that, quote, there is still a lot to tell in that universe. If a new Okami game did happen, she would be fine having any sort of role, be it producer, designer, or something else. Nakamura was credited on the original title as having worked on background production. I didn't know that. That's cool, because she was, I think, artistic focused with Ghostwire Tokyo. She wasn't like the director of that game. From what
she was the art director, from what I understand.
Art director, so yes, a director, but you know what I mean, not creative director. So yeah, she's more in the artistic side of things. So I wonder what she would do with Okami. And I know that she typically doesn't she veer towards like the more horror side of things typically? In her career. So Okami doesn't quite feel like that.
So it's weird, but at the same time,
I guess she has a love for it though. A lot of people
imagine a horror Okami game though.
I could actually, yeah, I could.
It'd be terrifying.
Yeah. Going back to Naughty Dog, there was some drama this past week surrounding the cover song that was used in the Last of Us Part 2 commercial. I think I'm behind on videos right now. So Ellie's rendition of True Faith was inspired by, I think it's Latte Kestner's Haunting cover of the song. Due to an oversight on our end, this is Neil Druckmann writing this, due to an oversight on our end, she wasn't credited as intended. Our deep apologies. We are rectifying this ASAP. We hope that Lottie Kestner receives the recognition she deserves. So she didn't sue them. It was nothing like that. It was simply just came out that she was like talking about it, really. Like she was like, oh, this is like very similar, specifically to her humming portion of the song. I don't mind. Actually, let me play it real quick for you guys. Ashley Johnson does the vocals in the commercial. You can tell that is Ashley Johnson. And for the most part, when I was listening to Lottie Kestner's version, I was like, okay, like it's similar, but honestly, I feel like any acoustical version of this song is gonna sound mostly like this. But then the humming portion comes in at the end, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that is kind of right on there. So let me play a little bit of this for you guys. This is Lottie Kestner. Give her a like on on Spotify. So right off the beginning, like you can hear it when she gets into the vocals here. Wait for it. Hope you guys can hear that. Let me turn it up louder.
I can't hear it.
Obviously, you can't hear it, yeah. I think it's where the vocals start right now.
I feel so extraordinary.
So the pacing is very similar. But let me go to the humming portion. There it is. So here's the humming portion that is the part she was mostly focused on as making a big deal out of it. Now the thing is, that is actually just the melody of the song being hummed. So this is where it gets into murky territory, right? It's a cover of a cover.
I hate that shit. I hate it so much.
Because even there's so many versions of this song by New Order. And the New Order version sounds completely different. It's got the very 80s vibe, of course, to it. And you won't even hear the humming part unless you watch the full 1 minute version of the commercial. The 30-second version doesn't even have the humming in it. So some people thought she was being a little crazy, but they did the right thing, Neil Druckmann and their team, because why not at least credit her, acknowledge her, give her that so that she gets some, I don't want to say fame out of it, but the attention she deserves, you know? They were inspired by it. He admitted it. We were inspired by her music. So yeah, you should say that. You don't have, maybe not pay her, because I don't even know how the law works there. I don't know how the copyright law works there when it comes to covers of covers.
Yeah,
I know you have to take out a sort of license or something. A mechanical license or something like that in order to cover a song and make money off of it. And I'm sure she did that. So because her version is different and she incorporated this humming part, which is the melody of the song, but still it's her original humming. Maybe that means that she's entitled to some compensation.
I don't know. I feel like music copyright law is backwards. And
it's a little crazy. But everything's cleared up because Lottie Kestner also responded back. I don't have the exact quote, but pretty much saying like that she's honored to be a part of anything related to The Last of Us. It's such a fantastic game or product. So yeah, so it's all cleared up. They both did the right thing. And now more people know about Lottie Kestner. So there you go. Continuing on with Last of Us news, patch 1.01 is supposedly out there for the reviewers, but that's not the only patch. There's going to be another day one patch. Let's talk about 1.01. It adds a photo mode, a model viewer, concept art gallery, and various bug fixes. So that's great. Can't wait for photo mode. I also really love model viewers myself.
Yeah, they're great.
Love just swirling around 3D and taking a look at how high quality those models are. And yeah, I got to have a concept art gallery after the first game because I loved looking at all that concept art and how it's actually structured at the timeline of the game. Like you can go through and see all the locales in order of how the story presents itself. So I really enjoy that kind of thing. But now it leaves me wondering, like, what then do they add in the day one patch? What do you think?
I thought grounded mode was already in it.
Is it confirmed?
No, I already thought grounded mode was already in the game.
No.
Oh, it's not.
No, it's not. Survival mode
weird.
is survivor or survival. Yeah, they don't have a grounded mode. And they don't have any mode that gets rid of listen mode. So that's what a lot of people are complaining about, is that they want to be able to turn off listen mode, even though they keep saying like the game was completely like designed around it this time with the dogs and all. some people still want the option to turn off listen mode.
Gotcha.
And the other big ask that I see a lot is gyro aiming from an accessibility standpoint.
That makes
And
sense.
since they have added so many accessibility options already, I could definitely see that being a day one patch from them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Personally, let me ask you, what are you going to play this on, difficulty-wise?
I'll do either survival or grounded, and if listen mode's
On the
off-
first try?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, no, I did the very first game. We didn't have grounded, right? We only had survivor, I think.
Yeah.
Grounded was added. Yeah, I did everything there, and I shut off anything that was UI related for the most part. So like, I really didn't have health bars or anything like that. I'm trying to remember what I did. I just know I made my first playthrough punishing, and it was beautiful, and I love that game because of it. It's again.
Normally, I would always
who
play a
does
game
that.
on normal, but this is one I'm definitely going to play at least on hard, and I might play it on survivor. Listen mode is going to depend on how it feels when I'm playing it, because I'm going to start with listen mode on no matter what. And if it feels like it's breaking the game and making it too easy, I'll turn it off. But I want to see why they are saying like the game is designed around it this time.
Yeah, I mean,
So
for sure, I'll definitely try that. Oh god, the grenade's been thrown to me.
you can actually blacklist yourself from that if you want.
Nah.
I don't know if
It's the
you ever
first-
wanted. First time's ever happened. You
It's
can
the first time.
blacklist yourself from Grenade, guys. Just let me know. I have to do it personally. I think mods can do it too. But if you guys don't want to be a part of Grenade, just let me know and I will blacklist you from it. I didn't get to play Last of Us Part 1 with listen mode. I played the game automatically on the hardest setting, PS4 remaster. Does the hardest setting doesn't have listen mode at all in remastered?
In what I remember in, I don't think grounded mode does not have it for sure. It does not have it. It's actually off, I want to say. And I think it was an optional toggle for your hard playthrough. I think I can't remember.
Gotcha. Got a rumor for you guys. Far Cry 6 is going to be revealed next month at Ubisoft Forward. It's on July 12th. It's going to take place in a more exotic location, and it's launching in 2021 for next-gen consoles only and PC.
What's that exotic location? Because they've been everywhere.
I mean, wouldn't you say Far Cry 3 was pretty exotic?
Well, you had the tropical islands, and you had Tibet, essentially, or the Himalayan areas in 4, Montana in 5. So I'm almost wondering if the exotic location is kind of like a play. It's going to be like China or something like that, because then you had Far Cry 2 was Africa, Far Cry 1 was tropical islands again, and then the only other place they could really do would be India, I think. Would be the other thing, but even then that's kind of derivative of number 4 in a way. So I don't know, like it's either that or it's going to be something really crazy like San Francisco, and they're just going to be like, I fooled you.
That would be actually pretty funny. I can't get interested in Far Cry. I just can't. I don't know.
They're fun games, but like I had a blast playing 5 with a friend. Like playing it solo, I was just kind of like, whatever.
I'm with Far Center here. I'm surprised how many games are not cross-gen. Like, I would have thought for sure Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo would be cross-gen. I would have thought for sure that a Far Cry game in 2021 would have been cross-gen. Right? Wouldn't you have thought? Like, I feel like they're moving on to the next gen faster than ever this time.
Well, we no longer have the mobile gaming is taking over the planet, and therefore consoles are stupid type talks anymore now.
Yeah.
We've seen this very strong console performance then. So I mean, I'm not surprised considering how apparently both these new consoles are extremely easy to develop for. So I don't know.
What's interesting to me about it is it kind of defeats what Xbox was going for.
Yeah,
like, now it's just going to be their first party thing. The first party titles that are like being the pro consumer, you know, you can play anything on either console. But then all these games that are coming out, I mean, granted, some of them are exclusive to PlayStation, but Far Cry, it says next gen consoles, you have to buy an Xbox Series X then, right?
Yeah.
You can't play it on your Xbox One S or
yeah,
X.
I mean, that's what we would understand for right now, unless Microsoft's going to make everyone make Xbox One games for the next 4 years.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like that is what's happening here.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
want to jump back to an Ask Andrew question. I'm sorry I missed this, Farsender, but we didn't really talk about this specifically. What do you all think about the controversy surrounding the look of the PS5? I feel like every person I've talked to that isn't like ingrained in like the medium where like they're reading all the time, they all think it looks amazing. Like all my cousins and my brother, they're like, that is the sexiest fucking thing I've ever seen. Like they all like are like going crazy over it. It seems like it's in the like the community itself that there's a little bit more polarization, which I think is kind of funny. But even so, I know that on Resetera it was over 50% that really liked it. But yeah, there's definitely a group that hates it.
Well, and the other thing too is, I think people just hate it because it's like more like it's white. That's like one of my actually 3 of my coworkers. They said the console looks stupid because it's white. Like, and that's literally their only reason why they don't like it.
That's funny because that's the exact opposite for my cousins and my brother.
Yeah.
That's what they like so much about it was that it's white.
So it's interesting how people are different. And there was also a little small tidbit too where the UI designer or whatever said apparently the console is going to be customizable. Like,
wait, what?
Yeah, there was something that was missed too. Like it was like, we don't know what it was, but it was like the faceplates or whatnot are going to be swappable. It was like, wait, what? What's going on here? So
that'd be freaking cool.
I don't know if the fins.
That would be really cool.
If
you could just take off those plates,
and
change them out. Yeah, man, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. So
literally everyone should have known it was going to be white. I agree 100%.
Once
that controller was revealed, everybody should have assumed it was going to be white. And black, honestly. Everybody should assume it was going to be multi-tone, just like the controller. You don't do a controller like that, multi-tone, with stark contrast, and not plan to continue that image into your console. That visual design was very important. Wood paneling. Sorry I missed that, but thank you for the question, Farsender. I guess my answer to it is I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
The moment that I knew it was going to be white, I knew it was going to be polarizing in the same way that the controller is somewhat polarizing. But I think the same thing's happening there. Like if you look at the overall consensus on the controller, like I'd say it's overwhelmingly positive. But there's definitely a lot of people that hate it because of the two-tone. And I was like, yeah, this is going to happen with the console too. Although there's another layer added with the console where some people don't like that it's so curvy and abstract. I think some people just want their consoles to be boxes.
I think the fins would make a great idea to keep it like if you put against the wall or whatnot, there's still going to be airspace. You don't have someone being silly and putting their console straight up against up against a wall. So I kind of like that idea.
Yeah, I don't know that was the reason for it, but
probably
I think they wanted it to grace your living room, as Jim Ryan
would say.
Yeah, this thing is a showpiece. No matter if you like it or not, it's going to be like, whoa, look at that thing.
Yeah.
And the final story of the rapid fire news roundup: Destiny 3 is not planned.
Yeah, crazy shenanigans.
Yeah, Destiny 2 is coming to next gen consoles with crossplay at 4K 60 though.
Full out crossplay apparently in 2021. So,
what does that mean? Full out crossplay?
Full out, as in like PlayStation, Xbox, PC.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm not. You're gonna laugh at me. I actually think it's kind of silly that the PS5 and Xbox Series X versions are only gonna be 4K 60.
I think that's ridiculous that you think that's crazy.
Yeah, because honestly, like I can play it at super sampled 4K at 140 frames, so it's not a very raw game.
I don't think we're going to see anything native 4K 60 above that. I mean, in next gen.
Yeah, it was weird to me that I was like, that's kind of what you guys are doing. I was like, I think a lot of people just would have preferred 144, 120, to be honest, for Destiny 2 because of the PvP experience. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, it was just weird. But then I realized they were doing PS5 and PS4 crossplay, which I thought that was cool. So like day one, that's going to be a thing. Yeah.
And that wraps up the rapid fire news roundup. We do have some wheel spins to do though. And if you guys want to ask any more questions in the chat, feel free. Now is your opportunity while we wrap this show up with the wheel spins. Thank you so much for all the support tonight. We got a lot of support. Great show. Nice 16 subs. 1666 scare tip from Duroc, and a lot more. You guys are awesome. Hit that follow button, though. We've only had one follow tonight. We'd love to see some more people join our community, especially if you enjoyed tonight's talk show. Let's see what we still have to spin for here. We've got just Kiko, I think. That was the one thing left. Kiko,
Just
this one
Kiko.
is for you. Kiko, thank you so much for the resub at 38 months. There we go. Got a question there. 500 XP. I'm on the wrong wheel, aren't I? Yep, I am. Let's go to the $5 wheel. And Far Sender asked, how bright do you think the LED light will be on the PS5?
It's not going to be bright.
It's not going to be bright at all. You can tell just off the images. It's like a glow, if anything. It's really not bright at all.
It's actually probably lower than your PS4 Pro right now.
Yeah, I agree. It looks really light, really dim. 90 XP, I'll round that up to an even 100, you guys. 100 XP to the entire room. And I wouldn't be surprised if they have a...
Oh, we do.
After the controller, I would not be surprised at all if they allow you to control the dimness of the light.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if they allow you to control the color of the light, honestly. I'm not going to expect it, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be
I
surprised.
mean, why
either.
not? I mean, these RGB strips, they've got how many colors on them?
Yeah.
Like why not allow
too
you to
many.
control that? Too many, yeah.
Yeah, too many.
So they could allow that.
They could.
Yeah, you didn't notice in pictures? Yeah, take a look. It's pretty, it's like a glow is what it looks like to me.
I like how the buttons are physical too, and they're actually kind of just prominent. I was like, oh, that's nice for the power.
Now I gotta look at
eject
this thing
button.
again. Hold on a sec.
Yeah.
I never even looked at the buttons, I don't think.
Yeah. So there's not really a great shot of them, I don't
Mm-hmm.
think, except if you see like the very front end of it. But like that power button is pretty much just by itself, and I was like, okay, that's just gonna be a button.
Where
you
even
press.
is the power button on this thing?
Very bottom, very bottom.
Hold on a sec.
Should see two little. If you're looking at the disc model, you should see two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the digital version, there should only be one. At first, I was freaking out. I was like, what are those? And I was like, oh my god, that makes sense. It's power button and eject.
Does PlayStation have like an official blog post for this thing yet? With
I
like all the images in like super high quality?
don't think so. I haven't seen
Really?
anything on Flickr. I haven't seen anything on Flickr yet, but
Boo,
I don't know.
whore.
wow, why is that my fault?
It's your fault. It's all your fault.
And I'm sorry. Let me go call Jim Ryan up right now and be like, hey, Jim, get us on Flickr, please.
Yeah, please.
Could
All
you
right,
just
let's.
imagine?
I'm just gonna go to the official PlayStation website here. Let's full browser this bad boy. That is the chat. That is not the right. There it is. All right, so I'm gonna just zoom in here. Oh, it doesn't allow you to zoom in. I hate that. Can I click on it? So you're saying it's like it's very faint. If it is there, I can't see it.
Yeah, do you not see him? Like I can even see it from the stream right there. So yeah, you have.
It's down
that's
here.
your-
You saying?
Yeah, do you not see the two things above you, where your mouse cursor
Yeah,
is?
these two.
Yeah,
Those are the
like-
buttons. You're saying?
Those are your buttons. 'Cause
Oh,
look at
okay.
The digital version, there's only one
So there's no eject button. Yeah.
because it makes sense, right? So
Yeah.
it's, like,
Okay.
weird. I was like, but they look nice. I was like, oh, they're just kind of like there.
What do you
They're
think
just-
of the USB ports being centered?
I did think that was odd, but I'm also again wondering how is this board built, because that's a very interesting design choice. I'm just glad they're not wedged between two plastic things, because I hate that about the Pro. I absolutely despise that.
Yeah,
about
it
the
makes it a
Pro.
little tricky. Some USB drives, I would imagine, probably don't even fit.
They don't. That's what makes it even worse.
Yeah. I love that headset.
Yeah, that headset is good. There's going to be a
love that
USB
headset.
port on the back. There's going to be one. It makes the most sense. I agree.
I agree. It's a
if
little
they-
surprising they haven't shown the back of this thing, actually.
Well, because it makes me wonder if there's a proprietary connector or something, or two or three
Yeah.
that they don't want to reveal quite yet.
Yeah. I mean, but look at that, Far Center. Look how thin those strips are. Those LED
Yeah.
strips. They are thin. They really only are there to provide a glow on the fins, it looks like to me.
Yeah.
That's kind of their purpose, is to provide that little bit of glow. But yeah,
There's-
it's not going to
it's-
provide a lot of light.
It's the exact same way with the controller. Look at that. The controller's no longer a big bar. It's
Yeah.
a very thin bar.
I think they listened to the feedback
Yeah.
from the PS4. Yeah, for sure. I like it. I like it a lot. The more I look at it, the more I like it.
It's going to be tall. Oh, Amazon
It's
France.
monstrous. This thing is fucking
I'm
monstrous.
sorry. Amazon France leaked the price out, which is Amazon France, whatever. Ha ha ha. However, the dimensions came out and people were like, oh, okay. Like, I think it was like 5.2 kilograms. So it was like 9 pounds, I think is what they said. Was
Yeah.
how heavy this thing was going to be. And I was like, I could see it. I could see this thing being heavier than the PS3.
I mean, if this is to be believed, I'm gonna pull this up real quick for you guys. Hold on. IGN has like an image here.
It's taller than the PS3, right?
It's huge. It's big. It's huge. So this supposedly
That's one thing that I don't
is
think
how big this thing is. Look at that monster. This thing is a monster.
It's tall. It's very
15.74 inches tall is what IGN is posting here. 3.97 inches length, width 8.79. So it's actually really rectangular. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Pro is very close to square. This one is much more rectangular. Interesting. I kind of like that actually for me. Because if I lay it on its side, that actually will work out much better for me. I don't have a very deep shelf. So I like that. That's good. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like both the PS5 and the Xbox Series X are not really optimal for a lot of entertainment centers.
They are not.
Yeah. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah, it's a big boy. It's a big boy.
I like it. It's very big.
I like the all digital edition, especially. I'm really liking the form factor, if you want to call it that, of it. Just like the shape, I think is really compelling. Very bold, I guess is a good word for it. So I'm behind it, really. I
love it.
I'm on board.
And especially if that heatsink patent is true and everything like that, this thing is going to be quiet.
I mean, they keep saying over and over again, this thing is going to be quiet. So I believe them. It sounds like they heard the complaints on PS4 Pro, especially. Cerny did not want this thing to be loud. And I don't know. I'm really optimistic on the V vents and how that's going to improve air circulation. With the fins as well, as you talked about even. And even like that, you can't lay it flat without a stand.
Right.
Like, it almost feels like they're trying to lift it off so that again,
they are.
it's keeping it cooler.
Everything
it seems like
anticipated.
it really seems like they're going for it. It's never quite. I'm sure there will be some games that increase its volume more than others, but that's kind of going against their design philosophy.
If the dual heat sink patent is to be believed, this thing will be quiet. Because they're taking the primary source of heat from a location and keeping it it's not being centralized anymore. It's being spread out across the entire thing all the way. So that's the idea. I just knocked my mic down. So I'm just being too crazy with my hand waves.
Are you Italian?
I am. How did you know?
Italian thing. I'm half Italian and I'm the same way. My hands are just
everywhere.
flailing around. They're everywhere. Can't control them. They're independent from my body. My Pro is way too loud. I feel like my Pro isn't that loud.
My Pro is loud, but mine's a day one launch Pro, and that's it. It's just chugged along. I probably should open it up and clean it, but I'm too lazy.
With Thunder's Quiet, the loudest my Pro has ever been is without a doubt God of War.
I want to say God of War was bad with the menus. I want to say 7 Remake had a moment where I was like, I think my console's gonna blow up. I was scared for a second. It was even on stream too. I was like, it's like doing that. I was just looking at it because I heard it over my headphones. I was like, I'm scared.
I'm scared, you guys. All right, that wraps up our stream today. Thank you so much again for all the support tonight, guys. I am not leaving. We're going to wrap up the talk show here and say our farewell to Vince, but I will be back with 7 Remake for an hour and a half. We got a good hour and a half to dig into Chapter 16, so that's not bad at all. Vince, as always, thank you so much for joining me, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always fun. I'm glad to be back.
A lot of good discussion tonight. I feel
a lot of great discussion.
Yeah. I especially like that little diversion we took in the Xbox Game Pass discussion.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's one of those great things we need to talk about. I wish I could do more research. I wish I could find more data on, like, this is what this is, because then I would stop freaking out about it.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Fire Center. Appreciate it, Henry. And yeah, you'll get more talk shows again from us. 7 Remake threw a wrench in the works there. I really wanted to focus on that for a little while. But you'll get back to getting a few talk shows a month. I would say 2 talk shows is what you should expect a month moving forward. I do like to sort of take a week off in between nowadays so that I can getting 2 game streams certain weeks of the month. But I think as a rule of thumb, at least 2 episodes of the Level Up show is something I want to make sure happens. At one point, I wanted to do more than that, but I think I quickly realized when limiting my schedule that I wouldn't have enough
It's
time
hard.
with games anymore. And
Yeah.
I want to make sure I still play games. So that's why that happened. It's tough. It's a tough thing. I wish I still had all the time in the world to stream with you guys, but life finds a way.
Goes away. Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you so
All
much for watching. I'll see you in a little bit for more FF7R. Give Vince that follow, Agent Vincent 4756. He'll put himself in the chat. Give him that follow on his channel and check him out when he's next live. And we will see you next time. Until then, take care. And as always, don't forget to...
Level up.
Level
Oh,
up.
I did it early.
You're fine. No worries, man. I'm trying to remember how to wrap up this stream, honestly. See you guys. Level
Hey
up.
guys, level up.